What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. It's January 31st. Can you guys believe the month is already gone already? Week 277 of this iteration of the Voice of the Fans podcast. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Give yourself a round of applause. We're going to get the show started just like this here.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford right here.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy? I want to get some of this guy.
Of course I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm staying there to try to make a change. Get back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. The fighter works
for the promoter. Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with him?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
On your team, is Paul is he number 2 in boxing or is he number 3 option? On your Kingsman team. 30 nights a year, he's my number 1 option. 30 nights.
Can I finish right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me?
What do you
Which
think,
one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Okay. Like I was saying before.
Well, every game's a new game, so each one's a different experience, different defense, different players, different game plan. So.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Or can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for all that.
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
Look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do knowing that.
surprised at that, Cam.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
What's good? What's good? There my man is. Let's give Cleveland a show a round of applause for joining the show this week. What up, Barry? Thank you for tuning in. God, thank you guys again to the Voice of the Podcast. We do this for you. Hit us up in the chat at _Voice of the Fans. Hit us up in the chat or on Twitter at _Voice of the Fans. We'll get your feedback and we'll answer any questions you got. If you're watching media, we shout out to Thomas and Pavi for what they're doing over there. If you're watching some Voice podcast or Voice of the YouTube, we're tuning in. Again, you can hit us up in the chat and let us know what you think of the show. And give yourselves a round of applause for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast today. It's January 31, Cleveland, week 277. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into the championship weekend and, the plus and minuses of that game. We're going to get into the NBA All-Star snubs, if you think there was any, Cleveland. We're going to break down our NBA supremacy rankings of what we got so far this season. But we're also gonna play our numbers game. We're gonna play our numbers game here in a minute. I'm gonna hit you guys with the this week in history a little later, Cleavon. But I want to know, Cleavon. There's a lot of businesses, Cleavon, that offer different things for your loyalty program. Whether it's a coupon, buy one get one free. Whether it's a gas coupon, if you go to Exxon or to Costco. I don't know if you go to Costco and get the Costco discount or Sam's Club discount. I don't know which one you do. But a big one for me was going to the Ralph's gas station because I could use the Safeway coupon or the Safeway and get 15% off per gallon. That was huge. That was huge in LA. Cleveland, my question for you, or another one, as I told you a week or two ago, I drove up to Memphis. That stayed because I'm a silver or I'm a gold silver member, gold silver out of platinum member with Marriott. That weekend was on the house, so I used my points. That was a free weekend. All I had to do was drive up there, obviously check in. Cleveland, what is the best loyalty program that you use the most? The best one or the one that you use the most? Either one, it don't matter.
Cam, for me, would be the best one would be the Alaska Airlines points that you can get when you just purchase things on the Alaska credit card.
That is a good one. That is a great one.
Me and the Bank of America people have a little bit of a misunderstanding right now, so that I haven't really been able to fully appreciate that. But the other one is for me is because I live right around the corner from the Fred Meyer one. Man, yeah, you can cut things down 20-30% sometimes. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, just put in your number. Bam.
Yeah, that's love. No Fred Meyer is only in the West, on the Northwest. There's no Fred Meyer on.
Well, I believe it's Kroger everywhere else, but Fred Meyer is more on the West Coast.
Okay, is it Kroger? There's not many stores like Fred Meyer. I mean, there's obviously the Walmart down here, down south, but Fred Meyer's is specifically a Northwest thing. I haven't seen it. Kroger in Los Angeles is not like Fred Meyer, so
should be some down south because they carry all Kroger products for a reason. So
that might be an East Coast. It might be a Midwest thing. I did see a Kroger. In fact, Kroger in Mississippi, driving through Mississippi to get on the freeway. This when I went to Memphis and Mississippi is real close together. I did see a Kroger, and they got a Kroger gas station. I didn't go into it, but I did see that heading to the freeway, heading back to Bama. I did see that. I did see a Kroger. I didn't see it. There's no Kroger here in Bama. I can tell you that. There's no, or I haven't run across it quite yet. But yeah, you brought up a good point. I was going to highlight the Marriott Rewards program, but the Capital One got a very good program as well, where you can it's 2 for 1. Every dollar you spend is a 2 for 1 for the credit. A year ago, Cleveland, when I was over in Europe, I took a Europe trip, so I bought a ticket from LA to Spain because that was a shorter flight. I was really concerned about that flight. And then I bought my coming home where I went to Spain. I left Rome to LA. And then I traveled in between because of my points that I had with Capital One, furnished I already had the hotel already taken care of, but it furnished my flight, and my flight from Germany to France. And then where'd I go from France? From France to Rome. Real quick story. This is a little far off the tangent, further where I wanted to go, Cleveland. But you've traveled before. And usually, like when I'm leaving LA, I would always have a tendency to miss my flight because I know exactly where to go. I didn't have to figure out where I was going, so I give myself just enough time to get to the airport, just enough time to get checked in, just enough time to get to the gate because I know where I'm going. In France, I was going from France to Rome. And that was a great trip. I flew in, like I said, I flew into Spain, hung out in Spain for a couple of days, Spain to Germany, hung out in Germany for a few days, went Germany to London, watched the Seahawks play the Raiders, hung out in London for a couple nights, went from London to France, to Paris, hung out in Paris with my mom and my aunt, which was pretty dope. Flew from Paris to my intention. Here's where the holdup was. My intention was to go, I wanted to go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I wanted to go see that and take a train from where's the town that the Pisa is in? Florence, I think. I want to say it's in Florence. It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa is in Florence. I wanted to take a train from Florence to Rome, where I had to catch up my flight out, right? That was my plan, to fly into leave France, go to Florence, Italy, take a train from Florence to Rome, and then Rome back home. That's what I had mapped out in my head. Capital One paid for those flights over in Europe. But real quick, Cleveland, here's what happened when I left France. I go to France and I've got to get there early because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's going on. There was a bomb scare. They shut the airport down, had the dogs and everything. We're standing outside the airport in line, like before we even get to check in our baggage and stuff. We're standing in line because there was a bomb scare. I'm like, yo, man, I'm concerned because I don't want to miss I don't know how long this is gonna go on. I don't want to miss my flight. I don't know how to the rerouting process. I don't know any of that. So we finally, the bomb scare, they took the bomb away. They had a little truck come over, pick up the bomb, put it in or what they thought was a bomb, put it in the back of the truck, and drove off and let us come through. So I'm looking at the big board, and I'm trying to, I'm looking for my flight from France to Florence. I'm looking for. I got my ticket, or I on my on the app. I got my flight. I know it's Florence to flight 1167. I'm looking for it on the board, and these flights is going all over the world, right? So they had, instead of what you may see in Seattle, have 2 screens, they got like 6 screens in departures, right? I'm looking for it. I can't find my damn flight. I cannot find it. I'm like, damn. So I walk down a little bit, then I go to another screen. Maybe it's on the other screen. I don't know why I can't find my damn flight. So eventually I end up having to go to the counter and ask the lady, yo, here's my flight and here's my confirmation, but I cannot find the flight. The lady goes in, oh, that flight has been canceled. You're now being you're now going to Rome. Well, no, hold up, time out, lady. Time out. I bought a flight from and in my American accent and my American demonstrativeness, you know what I'm saying. My American personality. I bought a flight to Florence, Italy, from France to Florence, Italy. I need a flight. You need to put me on a flight. You can't just cancel my flight. That doesn't work. I need a flight going from. I'm trying to continue my vacation. I need a flight from France to Italy, or to Florence, Italy. The lady says, "Sir, your flight has been canceled. You're now going to reroute it to Rome, and that flight takes off in I think it was like 5:30. That flight takes off in like 35 minutes. Do you want me to put you on that flight?" I'm like, lady, listen, that's not my plan. My plan is to go to Florence, Italy. She says, "Sir, do you want to get on this flight or not? Because I'm not talking to you no more. Do you want to get on the flight going to Florence or not? Or are you going to be stuck here in France? What do you want to do?" Oh my, well, hold on. I'm supposed to have options here. I'm the customer. She's like, "Do you want to get on this flight right now? Because I'm about to leave. I'm about to go to lunch." I'm like, in her cigarette breath, she said she was done talking to me. Do you want? And the third time she said it, it was like, okay. And I'm thinking, okay, nigga, I just better get on the flight and go into Rome and figure it out. That was crazy though, because I'm here trying to demand that I get rerouted, And this lady was not having it. Do you want to get on the flight or nothing, or not? Because if not, you're going to be here in France tonight, another night. I went ahead and went to Rome. I never made it to Italy, or I've never made it to Florence because I wanted to see Florence and I heard about this train ride, and I never made it to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm gonna have to say that one for another time. But nonetheless, that Capital One, you're right. That the Alaska card, that Capital One hooked me up because it paid for all of my travel over there, basically, which was super dope. But I wanted to talk about the loyalty program with the Marriott because I'm a Marriott Rewards user again. That that stay in Memphis was was free, and then I might use that in Atlanta here pretty soon as well. So I just wanted to bring that up, just a little chat, a little rant. Oh, fans, and I did figure out the mist I was talking about, the mister for my windshield wiper. It's the hose came out. The mist comes from under the hood actually, and obviously you see the little misters on top of your hood, right? On top of your hood, there's a little hose that goes from your the tank, the little misting tank, and that hose was linked that hose was out. So all I had to do is pop the hood and plug it in there, and now my misters work perfectly. So I got that straight. So fans, I just wanted to give you kind of a little personal story, and if you don't mind, jump in the chat. Let us know what is your favorite or most often loyalty program that you use. Which one do you guys use? Rewards, Marriott Rewards is the best for me. Cleveland, I probably use that. I use that gas one religiously at Ralph's because again, Ralph's, which is Safeway, you punch in a number and then you save yourself, 15 cents per gallon. In LA, that shit adds up, bro. that shit adds up. But then yes, Cleveland, you made a great point. So I did Capital One. That one for all of my in Europe. So that was my extra flights over in Europe. So that was excellent as well. Again, I used a flight even to get over there. It was 2 for 1. To get over to buy that ticket from LA to Spain and then Rome to LA. I'll tell you about the flight setup later, but that was pretty good. Which loyalty plan that you guys use the most? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Again, Cleveland, with it being January 31, week 2024, week 277, Cleveland, when you think of the number 31, who wears that number best, or who comes to your mind first?
Cam, who comes to mind first is a cat named Vladimir Radmanovich. Used to play for the Seattle Supersonics, man. Had a cold-blooded three-point shot, man. Love that dude. And lately, who's been wearing it the best has been lean back Luka, I would have to say.
Luka's not 31, is he? Luka's not 31. Luka's 77. Luka's 77. That's yeah.
I thought we was going 77. Is that what you just said?
Okay, did I say that? Okay. Vlad Rad, yeah, he did wear 37, but yeah, Luka is 77. That's a good one. I didn't even have Luka on my list. That's a good one. Actually, who wore 77? The first guy to come to my mind is Jeff Bryant, the defensive end who played for several years for the Seattle Seahawks. Dude was huge. He was great. But the guy who sticks in my mind most, Cleveland, who wore number 77 was Lyle Alzado. Not only because he played for the hated Raiders, Cleveland, but I remember most about Alzado is when he went on David Letterman before he died and after his playing career, and he talked about how using steroids, was how he was dying from using steroids. Do you remember that episode? Did you see that?
I probably remember the Roy Firestone interview a little bit more.
Roy Firestone, somebody else wasn't exciting, but I appreciated his interviewing style.
Yeah, he was very candid about his usage and the effects that it had on his body, and that his illness and deceleration in life was a directly attributed to his steroid use, and just so very glad that brought light and attention to it. Not sure how many people in that industry, so to speak, took it to heart, but maybe a little bit more than they would have, previously to him kind of being so honest about his situation.
He was the very single most reason I never tried steroids. The reason was when I saw and just you think Lalo Zato, defensive end, defensive tackle for the Raiders, was just a mean dude, monster dude. Told you guys what I thought about Deacon Jones. He wasn't far from that thread. I mean, just wanted to get after you, attitude, mean, the monster. So he was a perfect Raider. And that's what stuck out to me about Lalo Zato until I saw him walk across the stage with David Letterman with the cane, and he must have played at probably 270, 275. He walked across the stage, he was 80, and just body was damn near lifeless. And he said, and David Letterman asked him, he said, "Is this due to steroid use?" And he said, "Yeah, more than likely." I was probably 11 or 12 at the time. I said, "Okay, I will never ever use that stuff. If that's what it's gonna do to you, then absolutely not." And I've seen people shoot themselves up. You see these bodybuilders that are, their bottom half their chest and upper body doesn't match with their lower body, or their lower body doesn't match with their upper body. I've seen these dudes in the gym. I've seen these dudes walking around, arms can't wipe their butt or anything like that because their arms are so big. I'm like, nah, all that, kill all that. I will never ever. I mean, now steroids obviously come in different forms, but I will never inject my body with some steroids. If that is the result, I'm good. I'm good. So Lalo Zato was first person I think of second person I think of when I think of 77, but that impact was just stuck in my head. But number 31, Cleveland, who wore number 31 the best, or who wore that jersey number the most?
Who comes to mind first is the Nick Killer, Reggie Miller. I mean, just man, one of the greatest shooters in the history of basketball, and who wore it the best? Probably Greg Maddux.
Good one. He was up there. I had Donnie Shell. I chose Donnie Shell instead of Greg Maddux, but both champions. Too bad the Maddux in that era with the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, man. I'm surprised they only got one championship. That was they underperformed, would you say?
Absolutely. For the dynasty that they were, very similar to the Oakland A's in the late 80s. Yeah, just didn't really get as many championships as you would have thought that they should have been able to accomplish.
Cleveland, we had the Chiefs outlast the Ravens this past weekend. I don't know where to go with this one. Mahomes, we already knew who Mahomes was. I mean, it's going to become a broken record. Mahomes to Kelsey was that they were just unstoppable. We already know who Mahomes was, so I don't know what more we can say about Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, he's 6 AFC championships, 6 consecutive AFC championship games. Working on a 3rd Super Bowl right now. If they were to go ahead and beat the 49ers. I mean, I guess I asked you this first. What stood out to you in that game?
What stood out to me in that game from a Kansas City standpoint was knowing that the idea was to stop Travis Kelce and not being able to do it. It's one of those things like, you see it in sports, not a lot, but when you see it, it's like, wow, you really kind of understand it. It's like when the whole focal point is to stop a certain player, and that should be what your game plan and strategy is all revolving around. And even though that's what you're doing, you still can't stop that player. That lets you know what type of player that is, And so watching the fact that Mahomes and Kelce was really their bread and butter, and everybody knew it, and they couldn't stop it. From
I
the
mean,
Kansas City perspective,
they got the ball, walked right down the field, and they mixed it up well. I thought they did a good job of mixing it up. I thought they did a good job of allowing you saw with a full season and how a full season allows Rice to develop. And by playoff time, by the end of the season, and Rice was a threat. And so you have to acknowledge that threat. Isaiah Pacheco, you have to acknowledge his running style. You have to acknowledge him as a threat. So it wasn't where you might have wanted to put 3 men on Kelsey. I mean, you had to focus in on Rice. You had to pay him some mind. Pacheco, you felt, or I felt going to the game, talked about it on Sunday. If they're able to have a ball control offense, if they're able to run the ball effectively and keep Lamar off the field, then that's a formula for them to win the game. And they had a ball control offense. They came out with a ball control offense, to my surprise, mixing it up. Although, Kelsey was 6 for 6 in that first drive, I think, before he caught the touchdown pass. Finished that first quarter with 11 of 11 targets, 11 catches, which was surprising. But I think they did a good job. They didn't just go Kelsey all the way down the field. They mixed it up well. I thought that was a good job by them, by their offense. And I think, again, you see the full season, what they rounded into shape being, how they rounded into shape being even a bigger threat in the playoffs. So kudos to the Chiefs for accomplishing that. I thought the Chiefs defense, they caused the Ravens to get rattled, and that same offense again, putting pressure on that offense, as you mentioned. Can Lamar come back from down double digits? I didn't expect him to get down double digits, but if the Chiefs can do that and get them down by 10 points, how they're going to react? I think the Chiefs on defense, they forced the Ravens to get rattled, and I was surprised by that as well. So I was surprised that they were able to have the ball control offense that they showed. I was surprised that the defense could cause the Ravens to get rattled, and it took them out of their game plan by taking the Chiefs defense, whether they were giving them passing looks and the Ravens were had took the bite, bit the bait. The running backs only had 6 rushes for 23 yards in the game. Like, that was a bad strategy on the offense, on the Ravens offense. And again, I don't know whether that was the Chiefs just saying, okay, we're going to sit back and allow you to run, or excuse me, we're going to sit back and play pass defense. And then the Ravens saying, okay, we can't run against this Lamar to beat. That was a terrible strategy on the Ravens' part. What thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens had their opportunities to exploit what Kansas City was doing, and they just didn't do it. Obviously, the Zay Flowers fumble in the end zone was critical.
But that was late in the third quarter. Late in the third quarter.
And so, to your point, like, should they have run the ball more? Yeah, probably so. But I mean, it wasn't all that effective initially. I thought that there were times when Lamar Jackson had an opportunity to kind of
he could have got out there and
take those lanes and kind of impose his physical will on the game, but never got around to doing that. Didn't really see where Andrews coming back was that much of a factor. Odell Beckham caught a few passes, but they were never in a position where they had an opportunity to do things. And I'm not going to say that even they didn't have an opportunity to do things. It's just that they went away from what
they went away from it.
So their strategy had been the entire season.
Cleveland, what's the best friend of a quarterback?
A strong running game, Cam.
So if you know you're playing against Patrick, how could they create a game plan where it's asking Lamar to compete with Patrick Mahomes in a passing game. How could they create this game plan? That made no sense at all. You use your running game. The Ravens all season long run the ball, stop the run, and let Lamar hit you with some big plays. Lamar, he went out and got that run, broke through. It was 4th and 1. He broke through. As soon as he broke the line of scrimmage, he turned around and looking at the DB instead of taking off and running. Run to the sideline, take off and run, outrun the dude. He's trying to hand fight one, and you could have been gone. What are you doing playing around with this guy? We didn't see it. So something wasn't up with Lamar there. We didn't see him take off enough. But if your game plan is to have a shootout, Lamar Jackson with Patrick Mahomes, what the hell are you thinking? Your game plan should be run the ball, stop the run, Cleveland. I told you that last week. I told you that's how they're run the ball, stop the run. That's what you guys do to win. And here they are. I don't even know what the stats were. Lamar dropped back and throw over 40 times. You're not winning that game. You're not winning that game having Lamar throw 40 times and your running back run 6 times. That was preposterous. I don't even care what the Chiefs were doing on offense because your defense held them to 17 points. So whether Kelsey caught 15 passes in that game, the defense held them to 17 points. That should be enough for you to win the game. That's 3 touchdowns. That's 3 touchdowns. The Zay Flowers incident, again, that was late. They were pressing. By that time, they were pressing. So he's looking for a big shot. He had the taunting penalty. Like, Zay, come on, dog. What do you can't get away with? You couldn't do that in Boston College. You can't do that in the pros. You may be able to push the guy down as you get up. You may be able to do that. You can't push the guy. You may be able to get up and spike and throw the ball at the dude's head and flex and walk away. You may get away with that. You're not getting away with pushing the guy down and throwing the ball down and flexing in front of him. You can't do all 3, Zay. You can't do all 3. You should have known better. The fumble at the goal line. We see this. You had to be watching the fucking football game last week when Miko Hardman tried to do the same thing last week, right? And got the ball knocked out of his hand. Were you not watching that game, Zay? Were you not? Do you not watch NFL football? Did you not just see the touchback against the Bills last week? Secure that ball, man. Secure that ball. You're going for a touchdown, bro. In a game that you're a game away from the Super Bowl. You cannot make those mistakes. You cannot make those mistakes. They had penalties. They had one drive. What was it in the third quarter? They had 30 yards of penalties. They had them backed up. Had the Chiefs backed up on the goal line. Had the personal foul, the roughing the passer. Had another personal foul. Put them at midfield before you know it. And they let the game get away from them, just not playing within themselves, not playing the same game that you guys have played all year long. So that was disappointing on the Ravens' part. I had the Ravens winning that game. The Chiefs take advantage of the opportunity that was given to them. And the Chiefs defense, again, whether that was schematically, they said, okay, Ravens, we're going to play, we're going to put 5 cornerbacks in there, or we're going to put 4 cornerbacks in there, and Lamar, here's some pockets in there. Can you beat us? He didn't beat them, and he couldn't run the ball. Bad look. Do you say? I don't know, Bootzilla. I don't know if I remember you telling me that, but it was a good win.
Yeah, definitely did. You definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, Bootzilla. Cleveland vouching for you. Yeah. But yeah, the Chiefs. I don't know if it was the. I don't know if the Chiefs were just baiting Lamar, baiting them to to pass the ball, and not run the ball? Because I'm sure they were grateful that they weren't running the ball. But I think that was a bad strategy by the Ravens offensive coordinator Munchin. That was maybe he choked. Do you say Lamar choked? Where the world want to say Lamar choked? They got beat by a better team. I can't say choked. I say they got beat by a better team. Clearly, the Chiefs was better prepared, had a better game plan. I don't want to say choke. I can't say choke. I can say the Chiefs won. I mean, we know who Patrick Mahomes is. You know what that is. What that is. No argument with there. If it comes down to a shootout, Patrick Mahomes is going to beat Lamar Jackson in any kind of shootout possible. Is any shootout possible? They didn't run the game plan. I told you this last week. You run the ball, you stop the run. That's how the Ravens going to win. They didn't run the damn ball. And I just don't know if the Ravens were baited into that passing situation, or was that their game plan going into it? I'd like to ask one of the offensive coordinators for the Ravens. Were you baited into that? Or was that your game plan going in? I don't know. I don't know. Cleveland, any more thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying before, your question on Sunday was, would you rather Lamar beat you with, his arm or beat you with his legs? And I said, well, you
said he can't do that.
You absolutely force him to beat you with his arm. That's the strategy. So when you say, were they baiting him into these looks or whatever, they just were taking away the run.
No, the Ravens didn't run the ball. They six times for 23.
They were taking away.
I disagree with the take because they didn't attempt it.
Taking away the run, and the reason I say they were taking away the run is because the offense wasn't taking advantage of that. They weren't taking advantage of their opportunities to do so. So from that perspective, yeah, I got to give the Chiefs credit for doing that. But who has to take blame? I mean, when the MVP of the league only scores one offensive touchdown the entire game, for whatever reason you want to bring that up or however that happened, I mean, you have to put a lot of blame on that person. You don't want to because you feel for the guy and you want to see him do well, but they scored one touchdown the entire game. The Chiefs defense is not like one of those, elite, defenses of all time. You're not really supposed to be able to hold the MVP of the league to a touchdown. And that's what they did.
And that's where that's where my question comes into play. And I say, I mean, the Chiefs, again, I'm not trying to take any credit away from what the Chiefs did. Rather than placing blame, I mean, the Chiefs obviously were more prepared and played a better game plan. But the Ravens didn't take, as you mentioned, didn't take advantage of the opportunities in front of them. And I can't pull up my stats. I was just repeating myself and saying that they didn't run the ball. I want to see exactly what it is that they did not do. I want to see how many times, because I got 6 for 23 yards that the running back said. That was a running back in the game. 6 for 23 yards. I want to see what the whole running game, because Lamar scampered around a little bit, but I want to see what the whole box score is. Let me check this out. Because the running backs only ran at 6 for 23 yards, which you didn't try to run the ball. Like, regardless of what looks you're getting, so they ran 16 times for 81 yards. They usually have 32 carries per game. The Ravens typically do. And that tells me again that they didn't even try to run the ball. Gus Edwards had 3 carries. Justice Hall had 3 carries. So there's their 6 carries right there for 23 yards. They 2 carries. Lamar Jackson had 8 carries. Again, they had ran 16 times for 81 yards. They didn't even try to run the ball. So we haven't got to the risk take.
We're getting to that. We're getting to that.
We'll get into that. Don't forget about that one.
You'll see my brain explode, Bootzilla, when we get to that.
We got a lot to talk about that one. But no, we're on the Chiefs right now. And again, these stats, Cleveland, regardless of what look you're getting, your running backs ran the ball 6 times, dog. 6 times. You, as a team in total, you ran the ball half of the times you would in a game that you ran it all season long. So that's you not running your game. That's not you playing your game. You get caught up in a Lamar versus Mahomes. That's idiotic. Shame on the offensive coordinator. That's idiotic. Again, that's what I'm trying to design. That's what I'm saying here, Bootzilla. Great point. Was that team going in, or did the Chiefs just bait him into that? Because if the Chiefs baited him into that, which probably more likely happened, clearly it happened, that's the Ravens' fault for not being themselves and allowing the Chiefs to bait him into that. You know what your wife wants to eat for dinner. You know what your wife wants to eat for dinner. You can't let her bait. You can't let her bait you into take her to Chinese food, and she don't like. Chinese food gonna be hard on her body. She's gonna be stinking up the room at night. You can't allow her to bait you to do that, because now you're gonna be smelling her farts all night long. You can't allow that to happen. You gotta say, no, baby, we're gonna eat this tofu tonight, because tofu works well and the end results aren't the same. You don't allow yourself to get baited in a situation it's not going to be promising for you. And that's what the Ravens clearly bought into, this Lamar versus Mahomes. Stupid. Lamar's not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, this is the defending champions. You got to play a game to beat these guys. They didn't play their game. So I'm disappointed in them not playing their game. Lamar threw for 37 times to Patrick Mahomes 39 times. Like, you try to have, to your point, Bootzilla, they try to have a matchup there, which they should have known better than that. Munchin, you can't do Munchin. This ain't college ball. Lamar, this was not Louisville Lamar. You should have known better than that, Munchin. So I was disappointed by that. I'm disappointed. Again, they didn't give themselves a chance by the 5 personal fouls, the penalties they played out of character. The roughing the quarterbacks was out of character. And they got out coached. Plain and simple, they got out coached. They didn't run the ball enough. And I don't want to say, oh, you mentioned Odell. Cleveland. We don't have to be in practice all week long to see that Odell's probably as fast as you and me right now. Odell can't go down the field 30 yards. Odell's you have your deep threat in Zay Flowers. Odell's your possession receiver. He's going to get you to 7, 8 yards, 11 yards. If it's 3rd and 10, you can go to Odell, get you 10 yards, get you the first down. Because he's going to catch the ball and go right down. He's not trying to outrun nobody. Why you send him deep? They send him deep in the end zone. Lamar threw it way overhead. They're crying for the PI. That wasn't a PI. The ball was uncatchable, number one. But why are you sending Odell deep? Then they shortened it up on their best drive. I think it was before Zay Flower fumble. Okay, Odell, you run your 15-yard in. Odell, you run your 10-yard comeback. That's Odell's. Those are his routes right now in his career. Odell, you're the possession receiver. I don't know who you think you are or who you want to be. You're not Mr. Internet anymore. You're not Mr. The Giants days are over. You're the possession receiver. That's what he should have been. Lamar should have took off running more often. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what they need to figure out. This is disappointing that they didn't run like they've been doing all season. They half the time is what they've been doing all season. Shame on them. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I don't know what to. I know who Patrick Mahomes is. You let him and Kelsey beat you, as you mentioned, Cleveland. You let him and Kelsey open it up the game, going bing, bing, bing right down the field. I thought it was a great offensive game plan by the Chiefs. But you let them go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down the field and score a touchdown on the first drive. Like, you're in for a long day. You're in for a long day, especially if you're not coming to. You said ball possession for the Chiefs. I was like, that's not going to happen. The Ravens need to run the ball control offense. That's the Ravens deal. So you won that game. I had Lamar moving on. Lamar going to beating. I just didn't figure they'd stop the run. And they didn't run the ball enough. So shame on the Chiefs. I mean, shame on the Ravens. And we'll see. Do the Ravens make it back to the AFC Championship next season?
Oh, it's so hard to say. I mean, a lot of personnel moves are going around over there, and they're losing coordinators. So the cohesion, to get it back will be a challenge, to say the least.
So now we move on to the evening game where we had the Detroit Lions give up a 17-point. This was the biggest. I should be smacking right now, fans, but I'm postponing it. I'm postponing my celebration. I'm postponing my fans real quick. Let's do this. I'm sorry. And now you're gonna take Jared Goff over Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah, and this Detroit offense, he looks extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Cleveland. If I could slime you, pour the slime like they do in Nickelodeon, if I could pour the slime over your head right now, because you can't even keep this in. Yeah, you and I have any personal bets right in on this game?
Personal bets, yeah. I bet that the San Francisco 49ers would not represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. 2 pounds of ribs.
And this is probably week 8 or 9, I believe it was, when Brock Purdy was on his MVP stretch, and I was forced to amend my Super Bowl prediction. I did have the Eagles going into the season. I had the Eagles versus the Chiefs going into the season, admittedly so. But I was forced to amend because all the sling and mud that was thrown over Brock Purdy's name. I amended my bet and said Brock Purdy would lead the San Francisco 49ers to this NFL Super Bowl this season. I said that it had to be week 6 or 7 in Cleveland. And where are we at now? We're in the NFC Championship game, 1 game away, right?
Right.
And you expect Jared Goff to get in the way and Aaron Glenn, who hasn't seen the field in 30 years? You expect them guys to get in the way? Come on, man. Stop it. Cleveland, do you believe in Brock Purdy now?
No, Cam.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, come on! Oh my goodness! Fans, listen. I'm gonna let you go, Cleveland. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you got to say. But fans, if you watch this show for any length of time, you would know we've been doing the show for a good 10 years. A good 10 years. I think it's 2012 that we started the show. But Cleveland is quick to tell you that there's something that comes out when a player hits the field. He can do well the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. But the 8th and 9th week, there's something that comes out, Cleveland, that every team is now around the NFL. It is not even it's not even a hard copy. It's not even paperback. The way technology is nowadays, everybody has a tablet, everybody has a Surface, everybody has an iPad. Cleveland, what is it that everybody has on every player after 9 weeks?
It's the tape, Cam. There's too much tape.
So not only did Brock Purdy come in midway through the season last year, get them to the NFC Championship game before he got hurt, he started this season as the quarterback. And Cleveland, listen to you. There should be the book out on Brock Purdy. Everybody should know how to stop him. Everybody should know what to do against Brock Purdy because you listen to you, Brock Purdy is no good. So that should be an easy job stopping Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy. And where's old Dano, who is begging, oh, this should be the Brock Purdy show. Cam's falling all in love with Brock Purdy. Do you see now why I was talking about Brock Purdy from week 1? Even going through their 3-game losing skid, and they were 9-3 about to go play the Philadelphia Eagles. And in 7 of those 9 games, the San Francisco 49ers have scored 30 points or more. But nobody wants to give credit to the quarterback. The quarterback didn't have anything to do with that. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Everybody still want to call him Mr. Irrelevant. But he has led the team. This was midway through the season before they went up against the defending NFC champions. In 7, they were 9-3 before they played the Eagles. In 7 of those 9 wins, Cleveland, they scored 30 points or more, but nobody wants to give credit to the quarterback. We have to see more. What is he going to do in crunch time? Well, he did lose 2 games. He had a bad game against Jacksonville. They lost to somebody else. And against they lost to the Cleveland Browns. But he brought the team back. The kicker missed a field goal. You just wrote an article, Cleveland, 2 weeks ago about kickers. So you can't put that on Brock Purdy because you know what kickers are. Continue on. Oh, he is. I should play that. I don't have that clip available. But Cleveland said, oh, he jumped off the Brock Purdy bandwagon. He said he was browbeat into saying that he was browbeat into giving Brock Purdy some credit. Me and Tyler told him that Brock Purdy is a quality quarterback. But I bet he'd take Brock Purdy over Geno right now. I guarantee you that. But you still don't want to give Brock Purdy credit? You still not a believer, Cleveland?
Still not a believer, Cam.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I don't even know what to say. I got more to say to you. I got more to say about you. I believe that. I got more to say. But you tell me what you saw from the Niners coming back from the biggest deficit ever in the NFC Championship game that Brock Purdy was the quarterback of. You tell me what you saw.
What I saw is a Detroit team that completely lost confidence and faith in themselves in the second half, and a coach that didn't understand situational football and leaned far too heavily on analytics.
No, you think Dan Campbell's an analytics guy? You think that big meathead is analytical? You think that big meathead is analytical?
Yeah.
You think it was analytics that told him to go for 2-3 times against the Dallas Cowboys when they lost that game?
This is not the Dallas Cowboys.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
That was a regular season football game. This was the NFC Championship.
That's the same coach. That's the same coach.
It's poor coaching, Cam. You put the points on the board.
The first time
you go up by 3 scores late in the third quarter and make the 49ers do something heroic.
I still think they did something heroic, but I'm not mad. The first one, okay, you take those points. I'm not mad
because you're rooting for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. If you're on the Detroit, if you live in the 313, wow, you're furious.
No, I'm
not the field goal.
I like the confidence in your squad.
Again.
I like the confidence.
You don't have that type of offense where, like, oh, you can just go for it anytime because you have all of these.
They have one of the highest scored offense in the league this season. What do you mean they don't have that type of offense?
They don't.
They were dominating the game.
And even if you have that type of offense, you still don't go for it over and over again in the NFC.
The first time I'm not mad at the first time. The second one, I'm like, Dan, yeah, you got to go for that one. Dan, you should be kicking the field goal here. To go up, they would have went up 10, I think it was. The first one, okay, after Gibbs fumble, they stopped giving the ball to Gibbs and they stopped running the ball, and then that allowed Brock Purdy to come on and show the world who he is, or show most of the world, who he is, and then they got it. They came down, so they were down 17. They scored a touchdown coming out of the half. He went for it. They get the ball back. Then they go, they go down and score again. Now he needs to go up by 2 scores. Yes. He's the second time, absolutely should have kicked the field goal. Absolutely should have kicked the field goal. But yet and still, I mean, you don't give Brock Purdy still have to get a drive going. He still have to drive get a drive going and score a touchdown. He don't get no love for doing that.
I saw the Brandon Ayuk catch. It was, I like to say the word flukish. It's kind of a flukish catch. There was
Do you remember?
Throw where he was falling down, like flipping the ball up in the air, and
I mean that stuff like that happens. Do you remember your guy against how you think the 23 to 3-28 happened in the Super Bowl against the Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons when what was it, Welker, or was it the other dude, the other receiver as tall as you? I think it was that other guy, not Welker. I can't think of his name. But wasn't it him who caught the ball and it barely
Edelman, maybe? Yeah, that's fine.
That was a full catch. What about when the Giants beat the Patriots and the ball hits Tyree in the helmet and he does the helmet catch? I mean, stuff like that happens. I mean, that's football. You give your guy a chance. Brock Purdy put it up there for Ayuk. The Lions defender let it bounce off his face mask. And Ayuk is there, catch the ball and dives into, he was moments away from diving into the end zone. Stuff like that happens. What do you want to do? What are we supposed to do? Stop the game because something happens?
No, I'm just saying I think that contributed to Brock Purdy's success. That's all I'm saying.
Brock Purdy, 20 for 31. So that's right at 60% passing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. 60% passing. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 89 ranking. 89% passer rating. I mean, we take that all day. We'll take that all day. Brock Purdy even decided to get out there and show you that he can run the ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. Show he has some legs out there running for the first down, picking up 21 yards. I mean, he played the quarterback position like you're supposed to. Why don't he get any credit for tucking the ball and running when he has some openings? When he sees everybody turn around and playing man coverage and everybody turns around and runs with the receiver, he takes it down and run. Let me go pick up the first down. I can do that too. Put on a little Patrick Mahomes hat. But you don't want to give Brock no credit? Brock gets no credit?
No, I mean a little bit, not a whole lot, man. I can't take him off the game manager list just yet. So sorry.
I mean, I don't know.
Win the Super Bowl.
And then you're gonna say, and then when the defense steps up and Chase Young gets a sack fumble that turns into an end zone, then you're gonna the defense carried him. I can't give him no credit. He played on a good defense. It was Chase Young and Bosa. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have all kind of excuses. Next week, fans, I'll be smacking. You guys just gonna hear me smacking. I'm gonna have to push the mic away and let Cleveland talk because next week I'm having a full moon. I'm gonna have you know what I'm doing? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have some ribs and the brisket. And then I'm going to have something special that you guys don't even know. Unless you're down here in the South, you don't even know about the Chow Chow. But I'm going to introduce you guys to the Chow Chow from Full Moon. I'm going to introduce you guys to it. And I know I never heard about it before I came down here, so I know many people haven't even heard about it. But I introduced it to you guys on the show. Because why, Cleveland?
Because Dan Campbell doesn't understand how to play situational football and wouldn't kick field goals to go up 3 scores when it counted.
Well, whatever you want to blame, the Detroit Lions gave up the biggest deficit ever in NFC Championship history. Brock Purdy orchestrated a beautiful comeback. The comeback was so beautiful. The comeback was so beautiful. Oh, it hurts, don't it? It hurts, doesn't it? I mean, you had joy last season when Jacksonville came back against the Chargers. So you enjoyed that. You had your chance to. What did you have on the line? Some Ivers on the line. I mean, yeah, but Full Moon's a little bit better than Ivers, bro. Sorry to tell you that. And I mean, you won't be able to taste it, but maybe you'll be able to smell it through the airwaves. I don't know, but I'll be smacking next week. Yeah, I'll be smacking next week, fans, because I got Full Moon coming to me and on Cleveland. How about that? So you blame it all on Dan Campbell. Jared,
Yes.
you're not a believer in Brock Purdy. You took Jared Goff over Brock Purdy. Do you believe in Jared Goff more or less after Sunday?
His receivers let him down a little bit. I mean, obviously he missed some throws here or there, but I definitely saw some opportunities to move the chains, and receivers just were not coming up with big play opportunities. So I won't say he played extremely poorly, but I think in the second half, maybe the gravity situation overwhelmed him a little bit.
Why do you think they stopped running the ball? I mean, they were running the ball.
Not sure, because that was the 49ers' weakness, and they have two running backs. So I mean, you have two different ways to hit you with it. I mean, it's strange. Ben Johnson, called a phenomenal game the first half. The second half, I don't know. I thought that they were put in some situations where it was, push all your chips into the middle. It was an all or nothing kind of thing, and shouldn't have to be that way.
It didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way. Williams, I thought you say the receivers let him down. Williams, that touchdown in the end zone hurt. That was a Gibbs fumble. It hurt because the Niners scored. The Lions had to mess up for the Niners to get back in the game. When coming out at halftime, the Lions had to have some mistakes for the Niners to get back in the game. True enough, they were down 17 points, or they were up 17 points. So coming out of halftime, the Niners tied it up. That fumble from Gibbs allowed the Niners to get two scores right away, and that really put the pressure on those guys. But they shouldn't have stopped running the ball, because they were running the ball effectively. Jameson Williams, later on, I think early in the fourth quarter, he had the touchdown that he dropped, hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. That was a disturbing drop. Like, he's a rookie, but as we see with Rice for the Chiefs, by this time he's not a rookie no more. He's making big plays. He became a factor in all of their playoff wins, right? I mean, let's say all of their wins. They beat the Dolphins, they beat the Bills, and then Sunday, like, he was a go-to guy on Sunday. It was like he was he was that guy. He was ready. He was not. They didn't treat him like a rookie. They treated Williamson like Williams. He got that touchdown run on the reverse, which I hate trick plays. I hate. It tells me that you don't have no confidence in your scheme. When I see a trick play, that one worked. He broke out for 42 yards and a touchdown, so it worked. It looked good. It was awesome. But it just, when you're doing that, it just tells me that you're not that confident in your scheme. That's what that tells me. But they did score, so great play call. They got in the end zone. They go up. But when the next time you come back to Williams, like, he just lets the end zone, the ball fall out of his hands. Like, you're supposed to catch that ball. You're supposed to catch that ball. He is what dude is. Golf is what he is. I mean, he's gonna make some errant throws here now and then. If he needs a clean pocket, if you rush him and you hit him a couple times, he's not the same guy. I mean, he is what he is. That's it. Why you had confidence in him? I don't know. You had, clearly you were confident in the Lions winning this game. Or tell the truth now, after they all lost it. Did you have that much confidence in the Lions, or you just didn't want the Niners?
No, for sure. I had confidence in the Lions winning this game, and after the first half, you saw exactly why I had that level of confidence. Like you said, they got away from their game plan and didn't execute, and didn't take advantage of the situation when they had the opportunity.
Yeah, they certainly didn't. You're not a believer in Purdy now. Was that a fireable offense for Dan Campbell not going for the field goals either of those 2 times in the game?
Not fireable. I mean, he's sticking to his philosophy, he's sticking to his guns. It's just a mistake. I mean, it's just,
and that's why I'm not. That's another reason I'm not mad at it. I'd be more mad if it was all of a sudden we're going to go for it. All of a sudden we're playing gambler in an NFC Championship, 1 game away from the Super Bowl. I'd be more mad at that if he just started going for it in that game. But you see, he's been doing that type of stuff all season long. And again, him going for the 2-point conversion 3 times against the Dallas Cowboys when you shouldn't. Like, okay, you do it for the first time, yes. Okay, then you get a penalty. Okay, let's just kick the field goal. Like, but he did it twice or times. It's like, okay, Campbell, come on now. But he's been playing that type of game all season long, so I'm not really mad at that situation. I'm not mad at him for doing that.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be. It works out in your favor all the way around. So,
it was going to work out anyway. C-Mac, I mean, you can't say that. Obviously, he's a solid running back, but he wasn't a different. He didn't have any breakout. He didn't have any breakout plays. He ran the ball.
No touchdowns.
I mean, his touchdown was close. His touchdown wasn't. It wasn't like a 30-yard touchdown. He had
so he scored a touchdown then.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown, but again, it was like a 5-yard touchdown. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't. He didn't hit you over the head for a big gainer or nothing.
It wasn't like a real dramatic touchdown. Is that what you're saying, or
no? I'm just saying
style points on it, or what are you saying?
I'm just saying it wasn't.
He didn't run over 3 dudes and juke 1 cat and then just take off for 40 yards. Was it no style points for you on the touchdown?
His biggest carry, his longest carry was for 25 yards. Brock Purdy had a 20-yard carry in the game, so he didn't bop you over the head. He didn't bop you. He didn't rip off 2 or 3.
So he's running the ball. Not even as effective as Brock at this point.
I mean, Brock average.
Not really. Is what you're saying. I mean, Brock was averaging 9 yards a carry.
I mean, you said it. I didn't. Come on now.
Yeah.
Brock was doing a thing 9.6 yards a carry right there. 9.6 yards a carry to 4.5.
CMC's, yeah, half the runner that Brock is.
Don't be mad at me, man. Don't be salty at me.
You know what brought it up? You know what said that it was not an impressive running game from Christian.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why you can't give Brock any credit, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Debo Samuels, 8 receptions, 89 yards, no touchdown. I mean, you want to say Christian McCaffrey, you want to say Debo Samuels, you want to say Kittles, great Kittles. Kittles had 2 catches in that game. I mean, what are we talking about here? Why I still can't understand why you can't give dear old Brock any credit. Brock don't even care if you give him credit at this point. He's going to the Super Bowl. He didn't even care. He's not even listening to you.
For sure. Wow, you listening to me.
Who was most impressive during this weekend? Who was most impressive to you? Was it Kelsey to Kittle or Mahomes to Kelsey, excuse me? Jackson's throw and catch, was that impressive to you? Ayuk's catch? Who was most impressive to you? What play was most impressive to you over the weekend?
It was the relentless Mahomes to Kelsey. It's most impressive.
Cleveland, it's halftime in Portland. The Milwaukee Bucks are losing to Portland 65-67 at the half. 65-67. Damian Lillard's trying to get some extra shots in there before he goes into the locker room. The Milwaukee Bucks are down 67-65 at halftime. We'll get into more of that later, but I just saw the score there. I just wanted to share that. What did you say? I'm sorry. What was most impressive? The Ayuk's catch right there, the focus, the concentration.
I said Mahomes to Kelsey in the Kansas City Chiefs Ravens game.
Just the repetitiveness of that beatdown.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you want after he goes in the first quarter, after he goes 11-for-11, you might want to double up Kelsey. Or you might want to double up Kelsey. Just maybe. So, speaking of that, that's your guy Mike McDonald now is your HC. Are you more comfortable about that? Or are you less comfortable about that? What I mean, that kind of decision making right there, that's pretty critical.
Super happy, super excited to see the energy and the scheme that he brings to the Hawks.
He just let Mahomes and Kelsey beat him. Kelsey went 11-for-11.
The Kansas City Chiefs to 17 points and no points in the second half.
Oh, that's how you look at it. That's how you spin it.
Yeah, if you hold a team to 17 points in the AFC Championship, you should win. You're not looking at your defense like, wow, you didn't do your job, especially not against the defending Super Bowl champions.
Well, let me help you. Let me help you with that. The Ravens, they were number 3 in points per game last season. They were number 1 in points given up per game this season. Led the league in turnovers and sacks. So those are a few good reasons for you to be excited about. I mean, so now do you just go
turnover, sacks, points allowed? The first team to lead in all 3 categories since the merger in 1970.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, look at you. You ready to go, huh? I mean, did you greet him on the plane?
No.
Did you greet him?
Just happy to know that stat.
Okay. Well, are you leading a welcoming party? I mean, are you guys going to Salties, or I mean, where's the first place you taking them? Salties, you taking them to the pier?
We'll see what his what his preferences are. He's coming from Baltimore, so they do crab a little different over there. So we'll get him acclimated to the Pacific Northwest seafood style, and he'll take it from there.
Oh, the Crab Shack. Let them throw. They don't throw food on the table anywhere else but the Crab Shack.
Yeah, no, we're not taking him there. He's
Dog. The first time somebody took me there, I was there with my mom and my brothers. We went to the Crab Shack, and this is my first time. I hadn't been there before. I didn't know what to expect. So when he comes out and throws the food on the table, I thought the lady tripped and fell when the food went on the table. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, but that was funny. That was funny. So you're happy with McDonald?
Yes.
So McDonald is he gonna bring his QB? I mean, he can't bring Lamar with him. So do you think now that he's seen Lamar, he can kind of convert Geno into Lamar?
I have no comment on how the quarterback situation is going to go down at all, Cameron. We'll have to see how that goes. There's a few benchmarks to clear here. I believe that February the 16th is a big day. We'll see if Geno's still around after that, and then of course the draft. We'll see if they draft a quarterback. So I can't really speak on the quarterback situation right now.
Oh wow! Look at you! Didn't even want to talk about Geno. You don't want to talk about number 7, huh?
We're not sure what's going on, Cam. With this new regime coming in, and they'll make their own assessment based on how they feel.
Listen to this, fans. He doesn't even want to address the quarterback position. I mean, that's a pretty big position, though, Cleveland. I mean, that's not just.
Yeah, well, Cam, I don't want to speak. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't want to, speak to what his philosophy is going to be. But to say that Geno Smith is the answer, I wouldn't go that way necessarily.
Wow. So you're not inviting the Geno to dinner is what you're saying?
He can come over. I mean, the coach will have them over, and they'll talk and stuff. And we'll see what goes from there.
Wow, that's cold. You guys just trying to distance yourself from Gino as far as you can, huh? That's cold, man.
I'm not making any of those decisions. It's up to coach to make those decisions, not me.
I mean, but you can at least carry some favor, at least kind of guide them to one way or another. It doesn't sound like you got Gino's back.
If I was
at
guiding
all.
one way or another, I would say, hey man, let's see what the grass looks like on the other side of the fence. So that's the way I would.
Oh, you're hoping Penix fall to you guys at what 15? You're hoping Penix falls to the 20?
16 is a little high for Penix. I think they were talking.
Oh,
about
is it? Oh, is it? So when I say Penix is a second round quarterback all season long for the last 2 months, Cats is coming at my head. Now you're saying 16 is too high. Interesting.
We had this conversation before. You were like, would you like for the Seahawks to pick him? I was like,
yeah, interesting.
Depends on where it falls, but
Funny how that one game changes everything. Interesting. You're finally coming around, huh? Okay. Well, Harbaugh. We touched on it a little bit on Sunday, but Harbaugh to the Chargers. Does Harbaugh make that an instant winner? Make the Chargers an instant winner? Instant contender.
Cam, the AFC is a tough conference to make a playoff appearance in. We'll see.
Raheem Morris gets his third stint as a head coach, going to coach Atlanta Falcons. What type of ways do you think he's going to make in Atlanta?
I think he's going to do well with them. I think they'll be much improved. That division is not particularly difficult to win. So with if they stay healthy and can get a few upsets here or there, very winnable division. So I think he makes them a playoff contender.
Kellen Moore named offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Is that a plus or minus? What do you think there?
Did pretty good with Dak. I think Dak has a little bit better arm than Jalen does. So we'll see if that that ability to speak to quarterbacks translates to Hurts in Philadelphia. Not 100% sold on the move, but they had to do something, right?
Yeah, I guess they had to do something. He was with Justin Herbert this past season, and I felt Lombardi was a big scapegoat, though. So him coming over, I didn't expect much difference, and then they had a slew of injuries. The Chargers did, so kind of hard to gauge what he was able to do. With the once he top number one receiver goes down, number two receiver goes down, your quarterback goes down. You have no running game, so he's not going to coach up running. That's for sure. He's a passing quarterback, and it was, it's weird. He wasn't able to impact the running game, and a lot of Chargers issues stemmed around because they couldn't run the ball, whether that's personnel or whether that's scheme. Moore couldn't do either, so we'll see if he's able to do anything with the Eagles, and I think the Eagles need to get back to a running game. So that's interesting how they go there. They also saw in the Dolphins fire Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator, and he signs with the Eagles. So now they got two quote unquote veteran coordinators, which they had when they ran on their way to the Super Bowl. But we'll see if these guys are able to do the thing because the Ravens or the Eagles defense kind of let them down. Where a couple of years ago they led the NFL in sacks. This season they had half the sacks that they had previously. So whether these guys can take the season, the Eagles can take the season, look at themselves in the mirror and say we should have been better and get better in the offseason and come back with some vengeance kind of to appeal their second half swoon that they had. We'll see how that works out. Any chance Eric Bieniemy is named HC in Washington for the Commanders? Because it looks like they're running out of options there. Belichick is there. Pete Carroll is there. You still have Vrabel, Rivera, Ben Johnson say he's going back to Detroit, which I think is a good move. You have Well, Adam Smith signed. Who did he sign with?
Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. There's still Dan Quinn floating around out there, so they have some options there with regards to who's going to be the head coach. Whether or not they retain Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator remains to be seen, but I am sure that he won't be out of a job for long if they don't retain him.
Do you think they should go ahead? They should go ahead and name him as the HC. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator. Go ahead and promote him and see how he does. Do you think that's a potential or a possibility there?
He interviewed for the job. So far, they haven't said anything to substantiate what you're trying to say. So, maybe not. I mean, you said years ago he just doesn't interview well. So,
I mean, what else could it be? Because he knows how to run the offense. I don't know what else there could. What other reason he's not getting a job? Raheem Morris gets a job. Obviously, he has some of that Sean McVay gold dust on him. He gets named he gets a job. He gets named head coach in Atlanta. Antonio Pierce is named head coach of the Raiders. Fortunately, a couple weeks ago, for how he's able to turn the Raiders around and get the players buy in. So now there's 3 head coaches and black head coaches in the NFL. Is that so far this season, if Bieniemy doesn't get named head coach of the Washington Commanders, is that progress for 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 32? That's is that progress as 10%? 4 would be.
Well, you're slipping on Todd Bowles, you're slipping on D'Amico Ryans, you're slipping on Mike Tomlin.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Well, no, Mike. Well, I counted Mike on. I was counting Mike as one. So yeah. So then that's 5 out of 30. So that's even much better percentage there. So are we seeing progress with black coaches being signed as head coach? Good. Thanks for pointing that
out. For sure. I mean, like you said, there's 2 that took the 2 of the 8 vacancies so far. And that last one hasn't been solidified yet, so that's progress. I think D'Amico Ryans having such a great year this year with the Texans probably helped those guys out more than he thought, and Todd Bowles kind of getting to the second round of the playoffs when no one thought that they were going to do anything. Certainly was probably a little bit of a factor, and we've seen the consistency over time of Mike Tomlin. So yeah, there's been a little bit of progress. Let's see if they can kind of continue with that momentum going forward.
Speaking of Mike Tomlin, did you hear what the younger Rooney said? He said, being average is great, but we need to see some playoff wins, buddy.
That's true. That's legit. I mean, it's title town for a reason. The standard is what the standard is, and if you're falling short, you have to be held accountable. Again
and again. Do you think Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll, do you think they coach again in the NFL?
No.
Neither one of them? They're done?
I think they're done.
I mean, it kind of looks that way. It kind of looks that way. I mean, Bill Belichick, if the Bills, I think the 2 opportunities for Bill Belichick would be if the Bills fired their coach midway through the season next year, or the Eagles fired their coach midway through the season. I think those are 2 kind of, he needs a ready.
But when you fire your coach midway through the season, you can't just bring somebody in off the street to all of a sudden replace that. You have to have someone that's already within the organization.
Not necessarily.
Really? You've seen someone fire their coach and bring someone like off the street? I mean, unless you're doing it like the Colts did when you bring Jeff Saturday in and like nobody knows who this person is, and like, wow, how'd that work out?
Well, I'm saying if those guys, if they just fall flat on their face, I mean, yeah, I understand the best case scenario would be to bring somebody in who's been part of their program, but
I mean, as an interim coach, it's easier to do someone that's already there than to bring someone in and you just bring all new everything in the middle of the season. That's hard to do.
Well, I agree with that, but I'm just trying to think of best opportunities. Like they need ready-made positions. they need, especially Bill Belichick. He needs to go to the Cowboys like this offseason, who's ready to win. He can't go spend no time in Atlanta. Would have been a terrible fit for him. He can't go to Washington, and he's not going to spend the 4 or 6 years it takes to rebuild that team. And I just don't see him being around that longer. That's why I say those positions he's like needs to be ready, or go coach a ready-made team. That's why I say that. Pete, I mean, I don't know. Pete, I don't know if Pete's going to get a job. I thought for Pete. I thought, although we now know the Chargers went after Harbaugh, I thought the Chargers would have been a good opportunity for him because he'd have been back in Southern California. He still has that Trojan stench on him, and he could have stayed around stinking it up just because of what he did in Pete Carroll. Nobody's going to be. I mean, what he did with USC, nobody's going to be calling for his head. That's why I thought that would have been a good look for him. Cleveland, how interested in the Pro Bowl are you? Pro Bowl, as you know, coming up this weekend. How interested in the Pro Bowl, the Pro Bowl games, I should say, not even the game itself, the Pro Bowl games that they have. How interested in that stuff are you?
No interest.
Not whatsoever?
No.
So do you even care who's been named to the Pro Bowl?
Not really. Because it changes. I mean, every time Geno Smith's in the Pro Bowl.
I was gonna get you with Gardner Minshew. So yeah, you got a point. You don't even want to talk about it. And you gotta stop. You gotta get off Geno's back, man. Me and his family don't appreciate.
I will get off Geno's back when Geno, does some things that doesn't allow me to jump on his back like that.
I mean, he had one. For the Seattle Seahawks, Geno has one suspect season. They were better than 500. They were better than 500 this year. Oh, what do you want it to be? Russell Wilson? What you want to lead you to a NFC Championship?
Well, clearly he doesn't have that ability.
See,
so I'm not going to put that type of expectation on him.
I mean, see, you can't. Hey, you gotta get out Geno's back, man. We don't appreciate that. When Geno's been a stand-up quarterback for you guys, he helped fill in after Russell left you guys high and dry. He came and said, "I got you guys. I got you." Mm-hmm. And
for one half of one season, he played great.
See how you do. You gotta get off Geno's back, man. So Cleveland, let's talk about this real quick before we move on to the NBA. What are, Cleveland, the best NFL dynasties? Dynasties I have kind of determined. Dynasties are 3 Super Bowls or more to win. So the Bills 4 Super Bowl appearances don't count on the dynasty. I mean, I argue that. That's not in.
Right. Well, I mean, do you want them in order, or?
I mean, can you give them to me in order? I got 5. I got the top 5, I believe.
We'll see them out. The chronological order is the Steelers, the 49ers, the Patriots. Sorry, Steelers, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Chiefs.
I mean, what, you leaving out the only team to ever go undefeated? You leaving them out?
Your criteria alone says 3 Super Bowls or more, so they don't fit that criteria.
They do. Well, I said without at least one win right now. They do. They went 3 in a row. They lost the first one. They went to 3 in a row. They lost the first one. To Washington.
I thought you meant 3 Super Bowl victories is what I thought you were saying.
Well, you can't have the Chiefs in there? The Chiefs don't have 3. Chiefs only have 2.
They only have 2, but they've been to what, 4? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well then we'll leave the Chiefs off. And
so you had the Steelers, the 49ers, the Patriots, the Cowboys.
Steelers, the 49ers, the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys over the Patriots, even though the Patriots got 6 of them.
I was going in chronological order.
I'm saying, even you got the Cowboys over the Patriots, even though they have 6.
No, the Cowboys dynasty was before the Patriots dynasty, so it was the Steelers.
I see what you're saying.
Then the Niners, then the Cowboys.
But you weren't saying the Steelers number 1. You weren't saying the Steelers top.
I was just going from
oldest to newest. I got you. But my question was, where do you rank them in order? Then in order, I thought you were talking about from the best to worst. If you're sticking the Patriots in there,
I mean, in order, it's probably Patriots, Steelers, 49ers, Cowboys.
Okay. Which one is there? Either one that you was more impressed with?
Well, obviously, I was enamored with Jimmy and the Cowboys, so I'm a little bit of bias there. What the Steelers were able to do with as many Hall of Famers as they had on that team was, quite remarkable. The fact that the Patriots were able to do it with multiple players at the skill positions was impressive. And, the 49ers, West Coast offense ran itself. So.
Yeah, that was just thinking. I just wanted to take a peek back at some of those dynasties. I was not a Niners fan whatsoever.
Me either. No,
I was not a Niners fan whatsoever. The Steelers, I guess that was my first introduction to football, although I just can't say I really knew what was going on when the Steelers were winning. Obviously that was kind of a learned history there. Cowboys, I think, were that 3-0 record. I mean, it was just could have been 5-0 very easily if Jerry doesn't get too drunk that night. That could have easily been. I think that 5-0 in what would have been 6 years, or if you go 5-0, they could have went. They went 2, lost 1, then won again. And if Jimmy isn't gone that first year, I mean, they could go 4-0, like 4 years, 4 straight years, if not 5. Which I think that was more impressive. That would to me, even though I was not a Cowboys fan, I was more of a Jimmy fan. That would have been that 4-0 consecutive would have been better than all the dynasties. The Steelers 4-0 in 5 years, the 49ers 4-0 in 8 years, the Patriots in 20 years they get 6 of them. That 4-0, if Jimmy went 4 straight, I mean, I know it's woulda, shoulda, coulda, but if he went 4 straight, because that team was built, they could have went 4 straight, and again, you would have been wondering, okay, who's gonna finally knock these guys off the perch? And the only reason they didn't win 3 straight is because Jerry, that's his fault, 100%. But they could have won 4 straight. And they came back and won that. They came back and won that third one. That showed you that the team. And see, this is why when you say coaching don't matter, Cleveland, why I can't understand what you're talking about. Because if that coach isn't removed from that situation, they win 3 in a row. Very possibly 4 in a row.
Well, Cam, coaching matters quite a bit more in football than in the other sport that I aforementioned. That coaching doesn't matter as much. I've never said that coaching doesn't matter.
Yeah,
what I've said is you've seen what your guy Belichick looks like without Tom Brady. Doesn't look the same.
I mean, I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm on a winning high right now. I'm not having this conversation.
Yeah.
We'll look at our picks next week and where we rank in and review our season picks and how.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you review that while I smack on some barbecue. How about that?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I will take the foreground while you're licking your fingers and whatnot, man. Tell us about the chow or whatever it is. Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah, I'll pontificate on the greatness of Cleveland Wonder this season.
I don't know no greatness. I can
All facets of the game, however you want to chop it up, however you want to, bring your analysis to it. Yeah, great.
Let's not get carried away with the greatness.
Be more than happy to take the lead on that, Cam. While you're sitting back.
I'm looking at these numbers. They don't too glorious. Yeah, did I get the trifecta sweep? Uh-oh. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Who did that?
I don't know. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. I got plenty of time. I'll take notes.
So you talk about coaching doesn't matter. So why does the Milwaukee Bucks get rid of their head coach in the middle of the season and bring in Doc Rivers? Well, if it doesn't matter, why do Milwaukee Bucks do that?
Because the superstar talent was not happy, and they had to do something.
Does Doc make a difference with the Milwaukee Bucks? And it's crazy to say, this team was 7-3 in their last 10 games, 68% winning percentage this season, 32-15, only 4.5 games back of first place in the Eastern Conference. And they replaced their coach. Does Doc make a difference in Milwaukee?
No.
Who Milwaukee is now 79-77 with 7.5 minutes to go in this game in the third quarter. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're up by 2 points against the Portland Trailblazers in Portland, which is wild. Portland is a bunch of rookies. What's Portland's record? Portland record is 14-33. 14-33 right now, and they're beating the Bucks. And Portland just tied it up, by the way. DeAndre Ayton. Ayton showing. Ayton showing. I haven't watched one game of Portland this season, y'all. But they're there with the 3, and it's off. And it looks like my guess is, without even looking at these numbers, Damian's at home, not as comfortable as he once was, and maybe he grabbed some voodoo donuts that's a little heavy on him right now. I don't know. Have you had some voodoo donuts, Cleveland?
I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
I went into that place. I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? What are you guys doing? Now, I know. I don't think. Is it legal? Is marijuana legal in Portland? I know they got smoke shops all over the place. Maybe they've been indulging too much in the product in the local products, because voodoo donuts. You guys got cereal on donuts, dog. Chocolate chip cookies on donuts. I mean, come on, man. That was just a little bit too much. You enjoyed it? You hit them up every time you're down there in Portland?
No, it's not like a ritual or anything. But I did have to, see what the phenomenon was all about. I believe I had the bacon maple bar.
Bacon, come on, what? Bacon on a donut?
Yeah, bacon with the sweet of the maple. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Just the maple bar is fine. Maple bar is perfect.
Throw some bacon on it.
No, I don't need the bacon on a maple bar. I don't need Fruit Loops on a donut, on an old-fashioned donut. I don't need it. The old-fashioned donut, if it's made properly, is perfect.
Okay,
it's fine.
Stick to your Top Pots and your Dunkins and your Western Co. Whatever. Stick to those.
I've been to Portland, but they got voodoo donuts, man, and just with all this crap on it. All this crap on it. I will say, you've been to New Orleans, Cleveland.
Yes.
The beignets, you've had the beignets, right? Overrated, Cleveland. Overrated.
Powdered sugar on? Did you get them when they were hot?
Very piping hot with the powder. Overrated. It was a piece of bread. It was a piece of bread with powdered sugar on it. Like that was overrated, man. All of this I've heard about beignets for all of these years. Couldn't wait to go to Cafe Du Monde. I'm thinking this is a restaurant. It's a little coffee shop that served these little powdered donuts. I sat down, I was like, why is this mess all over the table? I didn't know what it was. What? Oh, it's the powdered sugar that they spilled all over the donuts. Get out of here with that crap, man. Get out of beignets are so overrated. Yeah, I was low key disappointed, Cleavon, in that establishment of beignets. Yeah, got them when they were fresh out, when they were hot. Not impressed at all. And then it's a cash only establishment at that.
Well, then you just stick to Krispy Kreme and be cool with that, homie.
I mean, Krispy Kreme. Is there Krispy Kreme up there
in Seattle?
Yeah,
it's 3 up here.
They are okay. Okay, and you got to when that light is on.
Let's see.
When as
soon as you get the hot beignets, it's like it ain't no thing. But all of a sudden, all about the light.
that light is on, boy.
All about the light, the Krispy Kreme.
Now that's something else. That Krispy Kreme when that light is on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When I was in Virginia, I'd wait on that track. If I see that light on, I had to pull over and I'd wait in that line. Small town Virginia, it's six or 7 cars. But I would wait. I would wait for a half dozen of those. Oh my goodness, those are so good. They melt in your mouth. They melt in your mouth. Right there. You can't eat one because by the time you gulp the one down, you don't even taste it. It just melts in your mouth. You need a couple of those before you can actually taste what's melting in your mouth. But yeah. Again, I just stick with the regular glazed donut. I don't need all that fancy stuff. Voodoo donuts. Get out of here. Yeah, so I guess it looked like Steph, Portland back up by 6. Looked like your boy again without even looking at the numbers. I bet Damian he already said he was comfortable being back home. I bet he just had a couple too many voodoo donuts. Let me see what the stats are, because things ain't right. And you say Doc ain't gonna make a difference there. Too bad for Doc. Lillard 6. Oh boy, yeah, he had too many donuts. 6 for 14 for field goals. He got 18 points, but 6 for 14 is not good. 4 free throws. Yeah, he may have had too many. 8 for 13, 21 points. Yeah. But as well, they're still in second place, so they're comfortably there in second place. Cleveland Warriors had a big win. Big win. Did they beat the Lakers last night? Who did the Warriors beat last night?
It wasn't Lakers because Lakers beat them over the weekend.
Over the weekend. Don't get carried away. The Lakers, it took double overtime.
You asked a question. Why ask a question?
It was the Lakers beat them in double overtime.
Okay.
So
you know what happened. Okay. Why you asking me the question then?
Because the Warriors, who did they play last night? They got a W. I saw him talking to Steph.
Well, it wasn't against the Lakers. So you asked was against the Lakers, and I said no.
Listen to this guy all of a sudden now. What happened? Didn't the Lakers get smacked around by Atlanta last night?
It was Houston, and that thug Dylan Brooks was doing way too much out there.
Oh, he's a thug now.
Thug.
He's a thug. Why can't he just be a baller? I mean,
he's thugnificent, man.
Oh wow,
magnificent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was you guys lost to Atlanta last night. Who put up 138 on you guys? Wow, 138. Like this is how you guys doing? That's what you guys doing now.
You guys lost to the Atlanta Hawks last night.
Yeah, last night 138. Yeah, you guys allowed 138.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a horrible start to the road trip. If you're losing to Houston and Atlanta, yeah.
Houston been putting it on you guys every time you see him.
Right. Yeah, Darvin Ham, call your realtor.
Oh boy, see how you guys do? Is you guys reach for the firing squad every time something bad happens.
Start a road trip with losses to Houston and Atlanta. Yeah, Darvin Ham, call your realtor.
Oh my goodness gracious! He just won the in-season tournament. I thought the in-season you guys just hung a banner.
The tournament was 7-8 months ago.
You just ain't the banner. The ink on the banner is not even dry yet.
It's dry. We did it. It happened.
Oh, that's so cold. You guys is already ready to get rid of the man.
Yeah.
You guys are something else, man. So should the Warriors here, I got a crazy question for you guys. I got a crazy question. Shout out to my guys H&B Media TV, Pavi and Thomas. They came up with this. I was listening to these guys the other day. They came up with this. And I thought it was preposterous. But I have to ask. I have to put it out in the airways for you guys, fans. Should the Warriors consider trading Steph Curry? The Warriors currently are 20-24. They're not even in the play-in tournament right now. They're number 12 in the West, 12 games back out of first place. Again, we're approaching All-Star game in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. Should they consider trading Steph Curry?
Only if Steph Curry wants to be traded.
I don't expect Steph to. I doubt Steph is going to ask for a request. I mean, I think Steph is one of those guys. If you can play in a career, play in the league this long as you have, I don't see him. He got 4 rings. I don't see him chasing rings. I think I see him riding it out. However bad it looks, however bad it gets, I see him riding it out. That would be my suggestion, or that would be my expectation. I wouldn't expect Steph to ask for a trade. What about you?
No, I think he's a franchise guy, and I think he ends his career with the same franchise like Kobe and Dirk.
There you go. I kind of feel that same way. Now, should the Lakers trade LeBron James? Should they visit a trade that sends LeBron out of L.A.?
No, they have a partnership. They're fine.
They have a partnership. They have a partnership. What kind of partnership they got, bro?
Superstar franchise player and the most storied franchise in the history of professional basketball.
I mean, that one's still undecided. I think Boston got more rings, right?
No, they don't.
So you wouldn't consider trading it? You want to get rid of Ham? You're gonna fire Ham? You wouldn't consider trading LeBron and see what you can get? Sending to Philly for Tobias Harris and some draft picks?
Wow. Tobias Harris and some draft picks.
I mean, I'm just saying. Who you expect? You want to send him to New Orleans for Zion? I mean, what do you expect to get for him?
Again, I'm not the one putting him on the trade block, so all those preposterous trade scenarios you're coming up with are just
Well, I mean, let's think about it. Let's workshop this. Would you send him to? Would you send LeBron James to Minnesota for Anthony Edwards? No. You would send to Minnesota Anthony Edwards and some picks? Cleveland, come on, you're crazy. You're crazy. Anthony Edwards is the player of the future. LeBron only got 2 more years left. Oh, you waiting for Bronny to come in? You think things are gonna be different when
you just don't do superstar elite players like that, man. You just don't, just whatever you can get for them because they're old. That's not right.
Oh, so you're just gonna ride it out with them, and if you guys don't make the play-in, just so be it.
Correct. Yeah.
It's just an off season. That's how you're gonna do it.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, his ass would be in Minnesota so quick. If I can get,
I know. If you were the GM, yeah. I mean, what have you done for me?
If I can get Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, oh, he's done out here. And I'd even ask for a pick. Yo, this is LeBron. This is this is all that LeBron comes with. I need a first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't do that if they offered you Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards for LeBron and a pick for number 1 pick for LeBron James. You would not make that trade?
I mean, on paper, Cam. I mean, it sounds cool, but I mean, that's just not what you do. At this level, that's not how respect is reciprocated.
What respect you want? You paying the dude $52 million? What more respect you want?
He is the face of the franchise. They have a partnership. You just don't just go trading him for some players.
The partnership is crazy. Ben Simmons came back 10, 8, and 11 plus 31 for the Nets last night, but he's out tonight. He didn't play tonight. He's back on the bench. So it ain't even worth asking. What is he gonna be able to, is this sustainable? Because he only played 2 games. Okay. Or not even one, he played 1 game. He couldn't play 2. Cleveland, what's your thoughts on the 65 game rule limit that they need? NBA players need to play 65 games to be eligible for postseason awards.
I like it.
Joel Embiid, he can only miss 4 more games this season to remain eligible. Even though he's been the hottest player this year, and he's in the MVP running.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play if he misses 5 more games this year, he's not eligible.
Right.
Now,
I like it.
Okay, so let's just hypothetically say your guy Anthony Davis turns it on and go for 30 and 20 the rest of the season now.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel Embiid misses the 5 games, but still averages 35, 11, and 6 or whatever he's averaging. You don't think that he'd be Anthony Davis in this scenario should feel shame for winning the MVP?
Well, Cam, he would only be playing a little over 80% of the games. You're missing 20% of the games. It's not a full season, not a full body of work. So.
But he has a legitimate injury. It's not for
that's unfortunate that is what is could potentially hold him out of being the MVP back to back.
You like that rule, so no amended in your voice, huh? Wow. I think I don't know. That's not a good look, man. You had a player who's clearly playing the best of anybody all season long, and he doesn't win the award because he plays 64 games and not 65 games. Come on.
Yeah, less than 20%, right?
I disagree with that. I kind of disagree with you. I don't think they should be able to sit out, and that's not what I'm saying. And I get your point. You want them to play; they have to be available. I get that point. But man, goodness, there has to be some context there. I mean, if he's sitting out like my man Ben Simmons, and Ben comes out averaging 40 and 20 for 2 months. Okay, Ben, we need to see you do this extended time, not just 2 months, the last 2 months of the season. We need to see it for the full season. But Joel's been giving you that for the full season. I disagree with that. I disagree. The Knicks, the New York Knicks are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. Second place in the East, second place in their conference. Let me check it. They're third in the East. We talked about what Milwaukee's doing. Look, they can catch them here pretty soon. 64% winning percentage. Most importantly, like I said, them men in Cleveland, matter of fact, is 9-1 in their last 10 games. 2 of the hottest teams in the NBA. Do you believe in the Knicks? Are you believing in the Knicks? And they got real good since they drafted OG Anunoby.
Perhaps Cam, they can get past the second round, but
Oh boy.
I'm not 100% convinced on that either.
Oh boy, you're cold. So you're cold. You don't got no faith in the Knicks. So right now the Knicks would be playing the sixth seed. So they'd be playing Indiana,
Okay. And then who would they be playing in the second round?
Milwaukee, or Boston.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't have any faith in them beating either one of those two teams.
They got to the second round last year.
Sure did.
Without OG. Without OG. Now they're a better defensive team.
They sure did. What happened?
I mean, that was this year. Again, without OG, now they're a better defensive team.
Okay.
They're playing with four guys that went to college together, the Villanova boys.
Oh wow, that cohesion,
Man.
that familiarity. Mm-hmm.
DiVincenzo, Brunson, Jason Hart. Who else is on that? Who else went to Villanova?
Another Wildcat that is not going to make any difference when they're playing the
see how you
Bucks
do?
or the Sixers.
Let's see how you do. Who else went to DiVincenzo? I mentioned him. Josh Hart. Who else went to Villanova?
It don't matter. I mean, it's a cute story, but it don't matter.
Ooh, that's cold, man. You're cold. Oh, the point guard Akinawa, or that's who went there.
Great.
Yeah, that's who went there. Who went to Villanova?
Great college times.
Oh, you're cold, man. You're low down. Believe in the Knicks. Playing they went 14 games, had the winning month the first time since 1994. Not impressed.
That's impressive for the regular season.
So tell me what you think this Horn Barrage went on score for 70, score 73, and B hit 70, Booker hit 60, Cat hit 60, 62. I told you this was last week, but I want to say this topic for you. I told you Karl-Anthony Towns is not a winner, and he doesn't impact winning. How you score 60 points, 62 points, and your team loses? Like, that doesn't impact winning. That if nothing doesn't spell no impact to winning, then that stat right there, nothing else will. How do you have that? How do you do that? Explain that to me.
It's unexplainable, Cam. I mean, he like you said, he's a stat stuffer, and when games get really, really tight, he disappears. So yeah, he's not a winner, like you're saying. I agree 100% with everything you're saying there.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. But Joel going for 70, Luka going for 73? What was more impressive?
So Luka going for 73. Joel's 7 feet tall. So I mean, obviously he gets his buckets much easier and closer to the rim than what Luka's doing. So that's much more difficult to do.
Cleveland, just for craps and grins right now. How many players have scored more than 60 points in the NBA?
In the history of the NBA?
Yeah.
Seven.
Seven?
I would say 7.
10 players that scored 70 points or more.
10 players that scored 70 points or more?
Yeah. get to. Can you name them?
Wilt.
He did it 6 times, which is crazy against those painters and carpenters.
Wilt, Kobe. Booker did it.
I just gave you 2 of them.
Luka just did it. I remember David Robinson did it.
Yep.
Remember the Skywalker, David Thompson did it. How many is that?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One guy we just talked about.
Then I named him. It was
No, you didn't. Luka. You named Luka.
sorry, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, 7.
So I'm 3 short. 70 points in an NBA game.
Yeah. I mentioned one of them earlier. You won't get. There's 3 players you're missing. You should be able to get one of them. I mentioned one of them earlier. We were just talking about.
Damian Lillard.
That's 8.
He scored 70 points in a game. Really?
Yeah. 1 of 10. I don't think you'll get the last 2. I don't think you might get one of them. I don't think you get the other guy. You're not going to name Elgin Baylor. You won't name Baylor. So there's one more current player in the NBA. But
he's currently playing. Okay.
Yeah, highly doubt.
I'm gonna have to go James Harden in.
Nope.
He's currently playing.
Yes. I'll give you a hint. If you want, but he's currently playing. Let me see. How can I mention this?
Oh, didn't Spider-Man hit him for 71 times?
There you go. Good call.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't get Elgin Baylor. So, how many times Kobe scored 60 points?
Twice. Once in the Garden and once against Toronto.
Against Toronto, the 81.
Yeah.
You discounting Kobe. Kobe did it 6 times.
Oh wow.
Including the final game of his career.
That wasn't 70 points.
No, I said 60. How many times he scored 60? How many times Kobe scored 60 was the question. So you said twice. He did it 6 times, including the final game of his career. How many times Wilt score 60 points against those accountants and librarians that he was playing against?
I'm gonna say at least 16 times, honey.
That's all? 32 times Wilt scored 60 points against those librarians and substitute teachers and
whatever, man.
He was giving them the business.
Whatever.
He was giving them the business, man.
30.
Boy, I tell you what. I was like the gym teacher when your gym teacher sits back and he start coming out there showing you what he could do. Wilt was like, "Yeah, let me show you this." Let me see. Kobe, how many? Or not Kobe, but Michael. How many times Jordan scored more than 60 points?
13 times.
Only 5 times. He tied with somebody for 5 times. Who was he tied with?
5 times he's tied with George Gervin.
No, George Gervin's not on this list.
Ooh, George Gervin never scored 60 points?
I'm looking at this list right here.
5 times he is tied.
I take that back. I'll take it back. He's not on this list here. Actually, he is not on this list.
5 times he is tied with Carmelo Anthony.
Ooh. Carmelo only scored 62 points once. No, he's tied with Damian Lillard.
Oh wow.
Elgin Baylor and James Harden are tied for scoring 60 points. How many times?
3 times.
4 times.
4 times.
How many times Booker do it?
3 times.
Twice.
Twice.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more guys who scored 60 points. Can you name them?
4 more guys that scored 60 points.
Yeah, excuse me. James Harden had a 60-point triple double. That's really giving somebody the business. But yes, there are 4 guys. Well, you name one of them. You name one of them in that list just moments ago. But including the guy you just named moments ago, there are 4 guys who scored 60 points. Yes. All active, but this one guy, but the guy you named earlier. All these guys are active. You named Carmelo. Carmelo's the only inactive guy.
Okay, so Carl Anthony, he's done it.
So that's 4 actually. There you go, 4.
Scores.
Klay Thompson got 60. LeBron got 61, and Luka was another guy that got a second 60-pointer.
Gotcha.
Is there a problem? I ran through all that. Is there a problem with scoring in NBA?
There's a problem with defense in the NBA and the way fouls are called. And the lack thereof.
Do you like all the scoring? Is it cute?
I love it.
You do?
I love it. Yeah.
So, do you expect somebody to eclipse Kobe's 81 sometime soon?
No, not really. You see, they get really, really tired once they get into like the 70s. It's
I
kind
mean,
of.
Luka just scored 73.
That was against the Hawks.
He was 4 buckets away,
and he was tired. And I don't know if you watched that game. He was tired. He was tired of shooting.
He was tired of shooting.
It was efficient. It was an efficient 73, but he was starting to wear down for sure.
Where were you when Kobe scored 81? Did you watch that game? Or did you watch the replay?
I watched parts of that game. I remember him being really dominant, but not really understanding. Like, he just continued to just pour it on.
I can just see someone getting 90, but not 100. So you got this season, Bootzilla, or next year?
90's a lot, man.
90's a lot.
I mean, a lot.
Like, did you watch the game against Toronto though? Did you watch that game? Or
yeah, I remember watching at least parts of it. I don't think I watched the whole entire game from beginning to end. I think I kind of started to pay more attention once it kind of got closer to what he was doing.
Right. Okay, not this year. So I didn't watch the game. Lakers and Toronto, both that year, both of them kind of stunk. To be honest. But when you hear that Kobe's he got 50 points, and then he got 60 points, it's worth turning on. So I turned it on the last quarter, and Kobe was giving him the business. He was giving Kobe being when he didn't have nobody to pass to. When he was on that mission, I think it was still 8. I think it was still 8 then, because he was on a mission to show that he could do it without Shaq. So he was on a mission that 2007, 2008 season. He was on a mission. So I didn't watch. I picked up. I've seen the game actually a couple of times because in LA they replayed that game a bunch. but he was giving them the business, man. Kobe was a bad dude. If he just had, if he was a better teammate, he would have been the baddest ever. Like if he had LeBron's understanding of playing team basketball, like he would have by far been the best ever. But he worked on his game so much, and I get it. If he put that much work in, and he was maniacal about getting 2 workouts again in a day, if he played better team basketball, he'd have been the best ever. He'd have been the best ever. But he couldn't trust anybody but himself. And when you're that maniacal about your workout habits, I guess I can understand it to a point, right? I understood where he was coming from. However, pull somebody up, and bring these teammates along with you. Bring somebody into the gym with you. Bring somebody into the weight room with you. You know, to drag these guys with you. But he tried to do it all on his own until Powell showed up. Well, I think he figured out that he couldn't do it on his own those couple years without Shaq. And then Powell showed up and it was like a relief. All right, now I got somebody who I can count on. And then he had to instill some toughness in the Powell because if you remember Phil slapping Powell on the chest. When they got dominated by the Boston Celtics. Do you remember that? Phil smacking Powell? Like, dude, get some toughness. Toughen up down there. You guys retire Powell's jersey. That is ridiculous. But he knew then when Powell showed up, like he needed somebody. And they got him a good somebody who can play that low post position, who's not going to try to outscore Kobe, who's not going to try to outshine Kobe, and who's going to let Kobe yell at him. But you needed to drag somebody else with you, man. That's my only problem with Kobe. Do you agree or disagree with what I'm saying?
I think he discovered very early on that there was no one that had the mindset and the drive that he had. So asking that is just would be futile. Very, very similar to Michael Jordan. You know, there's only been two players in the history of the NBA to have that mentality. And, you know, when Kobe's, you know,
Michael was able to get it out of Pippen.
When Kobe's practical joke is, yeah, you know, I'll show up, you know, let's go practice at 3:30. You go, oh, okay. And then, you know, you think he's meeting 3:30 in the afternoon and he shows up at your house at 3:30 in the morning and you just already see the difference.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
If you're asking someone to be as committed and as dedicated and as disciplined as Kobe Bryant, then you're setting them up for failure.
I'm asking Kobe to be a better teammate and drag somebody with you, understand people better.
But his level of expectation is unrealistic in the same way that it was unrealistic for Michael Jordan.
It wasn't unrealistic for Michael Jordan. He got the best out of Scottie.
Scottie was his number one henchman, and the rest of them all lived in fear. You watched The Last Dance. You watched every episode.
I did. Okay. He got the best out of Scottie. However you want to say it, he got the best out of Scottie.
Okay. And who else?
It doesn't matter. Clearly he got the best out of Steve Kerr. Clearly he got the best out of Paxson.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Kobe could have went all Al Capone on him like Jordan, but I mean, it was a different time. I mean, there was he did the best that he could. Those guys were not as dedicated to the craft as Kobe was.
I mean, that was the problem with, and that's why I was a Kobe over Shaq guy, because Shaq didn't work hard, Kobe worked hard, and that was the divide right there. That was a clear divide. Kobe was practicing after they won the championship, and this is we're not gonna go too long on Kobe, but after They won the first championship. I mean, Kobe, the number 8 was a dog, man. He was hungry, he was good, and he was talented, right? After winning the first championship, Kobe came back and put 20 pounds of muscle on for round 2. Once he did that, man, he was like, whew, whew. Number 8 was already a monster when they won the first one. Then he goes and put muscle on at what, 22, 20, 20 21, 22 years old? Then he adds 20 pounds of muscle with the jumper, more refined jumper, and a skill set that nobody could already contend with. They win their second one because Shaq is the most dominant. And that was a problem there. Shaq is kicking it. Shaq's at the club. Shaq's celebrating, champagning, and campaigning. They win the second one. Going into that third year, Kobe adds a 3-point shot. Now he becomes deadly at the 3. So not only do you have this guy who can do everything with the ball, who last season added 20 pounds of muscle, now he can do everything with the ball, and now he has a 3-pointer. Like, Kobe was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Why Shaq is still champagning and campaigning. Shaq adds 20 pounds of fat. He kicking it at the club. The most dominant ever, wins 3 MVPs, etc. I understood. Just like we talked about the Cowboys earlier, how that dynasty could have continued. And Kobe drug Shaq's fat ass to the gym. And they got along better. So partly part of Shaq, part of Kobe. But if Kobe convinced Shaq to work out some, go wake him up at 4:30 in the morning, man, I'm not a Laker fan. I refused to jump on that bandwagon when I was in LA. I would just absolutely refuse to jump on the bandwagon with all you BS Laker fans. Nobody was rooting for Eddie Jones. Nobody was rooting for Nick Van Exel. Nobody would know. There was no Laker fans with Eldon Campbell jerseys on.
That was a cold-blooded team.
But as soon as Shaq and Kobe come, now all of a sudden they just start coming out of the woodwork. The flags start going up all over the city. It's springtime. Like in Seattle, it's fall when the leaves start falling, right? You can see leaves all over the place and the trees start changing colors and everything. It's springtime in LA when Laker flags start going up on the cars and everything else. Man, I haven't seen the 6 out of every 10 cars had Laker flags on them during that time. 2000, 2001, 99 to 2004. 6 of every 10 cars had Laker flags on them. Man, I was sick of them damn Laker flags. I had to steal a couple, man. You guys, I was tired of them. But Kobe was a bad dude. If Kobe could have been a better teammate, man, and dragged Shaq's ass to the gym, like, dog, spill some of that off in the Shaq. He tried to do that with Anthony Bynum. Once he demanded that he be the team, and he said, "I'll go play for the Clippers. I'll go play for Chicago." Like, he cried all over for that summer 2007. Kobe said, "I'll go play anywhere but LA." LA traded Shaq because Kobe was younger. He was younger, hungrier. So you go with the younger guy. So they traded Shaq away. But Kobe spilled some of that into Shaq, man. If they stayed together, like we said, the Cowboys could have potentially won 5 in a row. That Laker team were more dominant than that Cowboys team was. Kobe and Shaq was more dominant than that Cowboys team was. If those two got along with Kobe's growth, Shaq stayed in shape, that was 5 easy. With Phil, that was 5 easy. Easy. Because who won it in 2000, 2004, 2005?
2004 was the Pistons. 2004 was the Pistons. 2005 was the Spurs.
I mean, they was all disjointed. They were bickering in when they lost to in 2004 when they lost to the Pistons. That you saw that implosion happening before but they were in the NBA Finals. That implosion was happening as they get to the NBA Finals with Karl Malone and with Gary Payton on the team. That implosion was happening as they got to the NBA Finals. The Spurs they didn't want. Once Shaq left, I mean the Lakers couldn't contend. But had those two stay together, oh my goodness, because Kobe was only getting better, man. Kobe was only getting better, and once Shaq was out of there, man, that dude, number 8 was a bad boy. Number 8 was a bad boy. No, I said enough on him. Number 8 was a bad boy. I was a bigger fan of number 8 than I actually was of number 24. Number 8 was a bad man. Cleveland, another quiz session for you. Can you name? I'm looking at the top selling jerseys in the NBA. I'm looking at the top. What do I got here? What's the list here? Got the top 15 jerseys in the NBA. How many can you name? In order, or well, no, just how many of the top 15 can you name? Good call, Boots. Go ahead, try it. I say I'll predict right now. Out of 15, you say you can name 10. Look at the top 10. So you'll miss one of these top 10 for sure. Top 15, you'll miss three of the top 15. I say you miss 3 of the top 15. That's a pretty good number though, but I mean, I'm just saying there's one in the top 10 you won't get. You definitely won't get 2 of the top 15. So go ahead.
LeBron.
Who's buying LeBron jerseys?
Is he on the list?
He's number 3.
Okay. Luka.
Luka's number 6.
Let's see here. Joker.
He's number 14.
Okay, that's 3. Steph Curry.
He's number 1. Another reason I don't think they'll trade Steph. He's the number 1 jersey seller in the league. Why are they going to?
So I'm at 4. Chet Holmgren.
And
okay. Victor Wembanyama.
He's number 4.
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid is number 12.
Giannis.
Giannis is number 5. So you're missing the second. You gave me 1, 3, 4, 5. You're missing number 2.
Jason Tatum.
Number 2. Jason Tatum is number 2. So you said Luka. You said Luka, didn't you?
Yeah.
So Luka's number 6. So number 7, 8, 9. I don't think you'll get number 9. Number 10. Number 11, you mentioned Joel is 12. You won't get 13. 14, you caught 14 is Jokic. You will not get 13 to 15. You will not. I'll tell you number 15 right now if you want me to. You will not get it.
Let me continue here.
And I don't think you get number 9.
Is Ant-Man popular yet?
He's not on the list.
Not on the list. Tyrese Halliburton, is he popular yet?
He's not on the list.
Okay.
Nope. Most of these guys are at least Halliburton's this second year. Most of these guys are 3-4 years in. Most of these cats are 3 or 4 years in.
Okay.
The youngest guy, I think, is number 9. You will not get him. You won't get 9, 13, and 15. Let me know when you're ready. I'll tell you these guys. The other guys you should get.
Kevin Durant.
He's number 8.
Is Shea Gilgeous Alexander on the list?
Shea's a young guy. Not on the list. So how many is that? How many is that? You only get 3.
That was
3?
Go ahead.
That was it?
Go ahead and fill it out.
So I knew you wouldn't get De'Aaron Fox at number 15. I absolutely knew that.
I'm not going to get that one.
I was pretty confident you would not get LaMelo Ball at number 13.
No, I was not going to get that either.
You missed John Moran at 11.
I know it. I was thinking, but I was like,
You missed John Moran at 11. You said Kevin Durant at 8. You didn't say Devin Booker at 7.
I didn't think he was that popular.
Number 9, I knew you would not get Tyrese Maxey at number 9. I knew that.
That wasn't happening.
And Damian Lillard at number 10.
Logo Lillard. Okay, so the Bucks have 2. 2 of the 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was the list. So Curry, Tatum, James, Wembanyama, Antetokounmpo, Luka, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Tyrese Maxey, Damian Lillard. That's your top 10. 11 is Ja, 12 is Embiid, 13 is Melo, 14 is Jokic, number 15 is De'Aaron Fox. Okay. So any All-Star snubs? They're gonna announce they announced the starters last week. Did you follow who the starters were?
In the West, I believe it was LeBron, Joker, Steph, KD, and Luka.
And in the East?
East was Embiid, Tatum, Giannis. Did Halliburton make the start?
No. So in the West, it's LeBron, Jokic, Durant, Shea, and Luka.
Of Shea.
Yeah, Shea's me. And in the East is Giannis, Tatum, Joel, Embiid. Who'd you say?
I said Embiid, Giannis, Tatum. Did Halliburton make it?
Halliburton and Lillard.
Okay.
Who was snubbed was I think Brunson should have been in there instead of Lillard. Brunson, again, we talked about what the Knicks are doing. I think he should have been in there. Tyrese Maxey, he probably should have been in there. He could have been in there as well ahead of Lillard. Lillard's name recognition, but Milwaukee 112, Portland 115, a minute and a half to go. Lillard is coming up court. Looked like he was about to pull a 3. Let's see what they do here. Lillard's driving to the basket. Oh, he dunks it with the right hand, goes up, pulls him within 1 point. That was a kind of surprising dunk. Lillard went to the hole like he typically does and just jams it. So they're down 1 with right here at a minute to go. Anthony Simons at the top of the key. Oh, and who's this get the steal? That was number 5. Who was that? I don't know who this is. Got a steal. Whoever is playing great defense got a steal as they're trying to get it to the big deal. I'm not sure who this is. Number 5, whoever, Beasley. Okay, Beasley playing defense here late in the game, trying to change the tide. So now Giannis goes for the alley-oop, gets fouled. They said the backer was good, it looked like. But no, apparently it didn't go in. So Giannis is going to the line down. On the inbounds pass, they run that kind of alley oop. Oh, he almost made it. He almost dunked it. He tried to dunk it on the inbounds pass. He tried to dunk it, and that's not a shooting. He should be at the line. I don't know what the deal is. He should. Giannis would miss at least one. He should have been at the line. I don't know if they're looking at this or not, but he tried to catch it and alley oop it. He tried to catch it, it's not a shooting, I guess. No, he tried to catch it and alley oop it, but he got fouled in the process. That should have been a oh, they missed an easy bunny. DeAndre Ayton down. Oh, DeAndre Ayton down there giving up the cookies. And then Lillard takes Ayton right to the hole, and then good dunk, Lillard. But yeah, he went to the they tried to, you've seen the play from out of bounds. They lobbed it into Jokic or to Giannis. He catch it, and then he tried to like do a dunk on it, but he got fouled. He should have been shooting. That should be a shooting foul. But I guess they're saying he didn't have possession, so it's not. But that looked like it should have been a shooting foul. Down 53 seconds. The ref is explaining to him right now. 53 seconds. Milwaukee down by 1 to Portland. Again, this is a sad state of affairs, man. This is why we can't trust the Milwaukee Bucks, because you're losing to a team who has 15 wins. Shame on you guys. What are you looking forward to most in the All-Star game? Although we're still a week away from the All-Star game, a couple weeks away. All-Star weekend.
Steph versus Sabrina.
Oh, you want to see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, here they go. They got a defense. They got a style. They got a Damian chucks up a 3. He misses it. They go get a steal, and then they alley oop to Giannis to take the lead. So it's a 1-point game. 35 seconds left. Look at Milwaukee playing some defense. Although late in the game. Anthony Simons is at the top of the key. 25 seconds left. How much time? 9 seconds on the shot clock. Here we go. Count down. Anthony Simons is. Oh, he walked. Yeah, he tried to. Yeah. I have to see that again. That looked like a walk. He was driving and gave somebody a Euro step, but he took the extra step. That looked like a walk. That looked like, so yeah. Whoever this Max Beasley has got another steal late in the game. Yeah, that kid. So one. That looked like a walk to me. It was a Euro step. He did the dribble to the left foot, to the left elbow, gather, took an extra step, and then got a shot off. Yeah, that was a walk. That looked like a walk to me, fans. I don't know if anybody's tuning in to see that. He did the Euro step, but he drove to the left elbow, stopped 2 feet, gathered himself, then took another step. And got off the shot because he walked. That's why nobody was there to defend. That's how he got so open. That was a walk. That was a walk to me. Okay, yeah, Steph against UNESCO. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And that's UNESCO says she's gonna shoot from the 3-point line. But then, do you expect her to shoot from with the women's ball or men's ball? That was my next question. If you go shoot
ball. Why would she shoot with the men's ball? And furthermore, I'm kind of surprised she's actually shooting from the men's 3-point line. Why don't you shoot from her own 3-point line?
Because she want to add something to it. She want to add something to it.
Now it's not going to be nearly as competitive. So
you step out here. You're going to shoot from the men's line. Use a men's ball. Impress us. Or if Steph shot with the women's ball, would that be? I mean, that's going to throw him off a little bit too. Would that be? Would that be too much to ask?
Yeah, shoot with the basketball.
Robbins, Brooke Lopez had a kind of open 3-point shot and missed it. Milwaukee's about to lose this game because Anthony Simons. You gotta wait till you see the play. Anthony Simons walks to get the game-winning shot or the go-ahead bucket. They pass it. They pass it to Damian. They D him up. He kicks it out to Robbins, who goes pump fake and a step back three. He misses it, and that could be the ball game. 5 seconds left, so they'll play the foul game right now. But 5 seconds left, the Portland Trailblazers are up by 1, so they'll play the foul game. Hope they miss. I'll keep you guys updated. But do you think? Yeah. 25 years ago, that was a travel. That was a travel today, man. That was a travel. Did you see the play, Bootszilla? That was a travel today. That he traveled. That's why it was so wide open. I think that was a travel today. Wait till you see the play, Cleveland. Because you're definitely gonna see the game when he played. He dribbled to the left elbow, stopped, gathered himself 2 feet down, and then took another step and shot the ball. That was a travel. How was that not called a travel? Yeah, it was a travel, but it was a travel. I mean, that's how it was wide open. Like that's how he got wide open because it was a travel and nobody was there. So yeah, Steph against UNESCO. So if she shot from the 3-point line and he shot with the women's ball, do you think that would not even it out? I don't want to say even it out, but do you think that would throw him off a little bit if he shot with a women's ball, not the men's ball?
Yeah, these are professionals. You don't change the ball that you're shooting with.
What I'm saying, try to give her an advantage of some sort. Yeah, she should shoot. I agree with you. She should shoot from shoot from her line. I mean, she did go what? 28 to 30. There's 30 balls, right? She did go 28 to 30, right? I never seen Steph go 28 to 30. I think his most was 25 or 26, right? If I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Does the NBA move the 3-point shooting contest to the end of the night? Did they go?
No, they're still the same order.
It's still the skills competition, then the dunk, then the 3-point shooting contest, then the shooting contest.
And the 3-point shooting contest and the slam dunk contest.
Yeah, what I say? How did I say? The skills competition, 3-point shooting contest, and then the dunk contest. Do they move that 3-point shooting contest to the last play of the night to close out the night? No. I mean, who's going to be in the dunk contest? Do we know?
We're not sure.
No, I mean, come on, guys. So you're not looking forward to the Rising Star game? I mean, Wemby and Chet on the same team. I think they should do it differently. I don't think they should be on the same team because they're rivals, man. Keep those guys playing rivals because they're
Western Conference cats. I mean,
But they're rookies. They're rookies playing against the second teamers, the sophomores. So it's still rookie sophomore.
Oh, right, sure, right, gotcha. Yeah, no. I mean, how can you put them on different teams? They're both.
Chet's not really a rookie. Chet's not really a rookie.
Chet's really a rookie.
I'm not buying it.
Chet didn't play last year.
I'm not buying it. Oh, Giannis at the line for 3. Hold on. You ahead of me, boss. You ahead of us. Oh, I see. He is at the line. Yeah. Is he for 3?
Oh, sit down by 3.
Yeah, he's at the line down by 3. Yeah, he ain't gonna make. I mean, Giannis hitting the free throws. Well, let's see what he do. 2.8 seconds to go. Down 2. He misses the first one. Clang clang. Clang clang.
Well, then there's no strategy there. Yeah.
It was clang clang. I mean, you can't. Yeah, there's 2.8 seconds to go. Yeah, this is a down by 3. This is a done dilly. Here he's working out his free throw shot right here. Let's see. I mean, Giannis is still a specimen though. Oh, clang clang again, and Portland got the ball, and it's game time. And it's game time. Yep, you got it. I mean, we kind of can speculate Giannis missing one, and it was a big old brick too. It wasn't a soft one that just barely lipped out. It was a clang clang clang. Yeah, so that game's over. Milwaukee loses to Portland, and Dame's return to them. to the Rose Garden. But yeah, I want to keep those guys on a different court, on a different team. Wouldn't be versus Chet. Keep those guys on a different court. Let's see. The Lakers, man, you Lakers are pathetic. Lakers are pathetic. So let's move on past it. You want to speed through the show, man? You want to take a break?
Yeah, a quick 45.
Yeah, take a hop. And now you're going to take Jared Goff over Brock Purdy?
Oh yeah, and this Detroit offense, he looks extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Cleveland. If I could slime you, pour the slime like they do in Nickelodeon, if I could pour the slime over your head right now, because you can't even keep this in. Yeah, you and I have any personal bets right in on this game?
Personal bets, yeah. I bet that the San Francisco 49ers would not represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. 2 pounds of ribs.
And this is probably week 8 or 9, I believe it was, when Brock Purdy was on his MVP stretch, and I was forced to amend my Super Bowl prediction. I did have the Eagles going into the season. I had the Eagles versus the Chiefs going into the season, admittedly so. But I was forced to amend because all the sling and mud that was thrown over Brock Purdy's name. I amended my bet and said Brock Purdy would lead the San Francisco 49ers to this NFL Super Bowl this season. I said that it had to be week 6 or 7 in Cleveland. You see what Bootzilla posted?
I did see that.
Man, you want to comment on Bootzilla? I mentioned this earlier, Bootzilla. And Cleveland would have laughed me off the show if he had the laugh track.
He's the franchise player. They have a partnership.
Partnership. It's funny you keep saying partnership.
Get some of those pieces around. Make it happen. But
I propose.
I don't think he's going to be traded or even ask for a trade. Where would he ask to be traded to?
Do you want to go back to Cleveland?
No.
Huh? You do a spider for LeBron? Spider, you need more Spider than point guard for LeBron. Spider point guard at Claxton, not Claxton. Who's the point guard there? Garland. Spider, Garland for LeBron and a pick. Cleveland don't like that one. Send him to Minnesota. I call up Minnesota. Send him to Minnesota.
Yes.
For Anthony Edwards.
He's in his 20th year.
Send him to Minnesota for Anthony Edwards.
Los Angeles.
Man,
he's not interested in packing.
Please, I don't care what he's interested in.
Up and going anywhere.
I don't care what he's interested in.
No, then you didn't see the question. He said that he should be asking for a trade, but he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Well, yeah, he ain't asking for a trade. He has the pieces. They just ain't there. I mean,
they're broken pieces.
He's not the force multiplier
all year.
He's not the force multiplier that he once was, Bootzilla. So you're right there. He's not. He just can't turn water into wine no more. Okay, so he need to be around a good talent. That's the whole purpose of going to get Anthony Davis. So yes, I would call up Minnesota and let's see if I can get Anthony Edwards, and you can get LeBron and the big man.
I'm pretty sure he has some no trade clauses.
He don't. He's a free agent at the end of the season. He can go walk. So instead of him walking or asking, instead of him walking, let's go get Anthony Edwards and see if we can start our future. Anthony Edwards and Anthony Davis are two ants. Let's go. Come on. Well, you want to hold on to the past? Let's move this thing along. Come on now.
It's just in the Western Conference Finals just last year. So
yeah, no, but you the one talking about getting rid of Darvin. Said Darvin got to put his house on the market. You got to call some realtors.
Right. Start there.
You can go to Philly and play with. No, see, Maxey and Embiid, they're not. If you were to trade LeBron, you're not. Philly is wants more than Tobias Harris. I mentioned that Tobias Harris is a big. Cleveland almost walked off the show. You're gonna have to give up somebody. He can't. It ain't just him walking onto some team. So unless he wants to do it in the offseason. But if I'm Genie, hey LeBron, you want to resign right now? Here's an offer on the table right now. You want to sign? And LeBron says, well, I have to see what the offseason looks like. All right, bro. All right, bro. I know the weather here in LA don't change, but it might change in Minnesota. It might change in Philly. I know the weather here don't change. So either you sign or you can start packaging it up, buddy. Because we making some moves. Milton, Tobias, Paul Reed. I hear you, Bootzilla. Call him up. Bootzilla, you're not picking up the phone. If what's my man name? The RP. He called over there to Minnesota and say, we want Milton, Tobias, Paul Reed, and a couple first rounders for LeBron. What are you gonna do if they ask for that? Come on, Boozer. I don't know if that's getting done, Chief. I don't know if that's getting done, Chief. I'm telling you, the best offer might be send them to Minnesota for Ant-Man. And we'll give you the 29 pick that they've been holding on to for years. Let's go, Ant. Come on. You don't want to hear it. Don't act ashamed now. You should be ashamed that record they running around there with. That's what you should be ashamed about. All right, let's get this done. Fine. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause for hanging with us, fans. Man, we just out here having fun, man, and talking hoop, talking NFL. But what couple things we do differently than anybody else does? Nobody gives you a number game at the beginning of the show. Nobody else gives you this week in history. Nobody finished the show with a quote, man. So we're gonna give you this week in history right now. Why would he want to go to Minnesota with? But you ain't again. What? I'm not taking. You're not getting. Well, you could have if it was up to me, Minnesota. You want Karl Anthony Towns? I'll certainly send Karl Anthony Towns to you and McDaniels for LeBron. If I'm Minnesota, you want Karl Anthony Towns to pair with the two 7-footers who like to play like 6'9" forwards. You can have Karl Anthony Towns. He did just score 62 points. You can have him. He's a scoring machine. You want to do that? What you think about that one, Cleveland?
I think you should worry about what the Clippers are doing and less about what the Lakers are doing.
The Clippers are playing for first place in their division, buddy. I don't know if you're know that or not, but the Clippers are they're a couple games out of first place.
Continue to pontificate on the greatness of the Clippers and let the Lakers do what the Lakers do. Okay.
I mean, now you getting salty. Now you're getting annoyed with the potential trade options. And now you're annoyed with the trade options.
It's not going to happen. So
now you don't even want to entertain any Laker talk. Now all of a sudden you don't even want to entertain it now. Funny how that works. So since you asked, I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you asked, the Los Angeles Clippers are 31-15 after winning tonight, sir. 8-2 in their last games. They're two games out of first place.
Nice.
2 games out of first place. I mean, since you asked, I wasn't gonna bring them up.
Clicking on all cylinders.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. They're comfortably in the playoffs right now, while that other team is toiling around under 500 in the play-in tournament. Under 500, I said.
Okay.
Somebody gonna have to make some changes. Somebody gonna have to make some changes down there. Fans, January 30th, 1858, William Wells Brown published the first black drama, Leap to Freedom. January 31, 1934, Etta Moulton sings for President Roosevelt at the White House dinner, becoming the first African American celebrity to perform at the White House. February 1, 1965, Alabama official arrests 700 blacks as they demonstrate against state voter registration requirements in Selma, Alabama. Went to Selma last week, man. Crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Very disappointed in Selma in the way that looks. Very disappointed in Selma in the way that looks. I mean, I would think at least that's an historic landmine, or landmine, a historic landmark. I would think Selma would at least dress up that initial intersection when you cross over into Selma over the little river there. I would at least think they'd dress that up and have at least some decent looking shops that are open and representative of the community. That initial intersection is ridiculous. I was saddened by what I saw crossing over the Edmund Pettus Bridge into Selma. Very saddened. This is very, very sad. Very sad. I mean, very sad by that. I can't say it enough. Did I say I was very saddened by?
By the look, yeah.
My goodness,
or lack thereof, I should say.
I mean, it was a look, but it was just not a very good look. Very disappointed in the state of Alabama, Selma. Terribly sad. Oh my goodness. January 25th, 1966, Dr. Carter G. Woodson introduced Negro history after he was graduated from Harvard with his PhD in 1926. He launched Negro History Week as an initiative to bring national attention to the contributions of Black people throughout American history. It became a month-long celebration in 1976, which is now we know Black History Week. So that was Dr. Carter G. Woodson. February 4th, 2007, Tony Dungy became first African-American head coach to win a Super Bowl after when his coach beat the who?
Chicago Bears.
USS January 31, 1988, Doug Williams became the first African-American quarterback to play in the Super Bowl. Williams led the Washington Redskins to a win in Super Bowl 22, I think it was. He was also named MVP. That was a game where I thought his where everybody thought his knee was torn, right? And he came back and just was killer the rest of the games. January 30th, 2000, the Rams beat the Titans. Do you have the Rams beat the Titans? So the Rams, the greatest show on turf, comes down to the final tackle in one game, and then a field goal in the next game. Like, to be considered the greatest show on turf, they didn't blow it. They didn't win a Super Bowl. They should have been walked away from the Super Bowl, wouldn't you think?
They only went to 2, and both of them were last
nail biters. He retired Haslam's jersey. What you think of that? Fair or foul? Retiring Udonis Haslam's jersey.
That's fair.
Tara Vanderveer is now the winningest coach in college basketball. What your thoughts on that? Good for Tara.
Good for her. Sustained greatness. You know, it's a record that's very difficult to get to and almost impossible to, get past.
You weren't here, but last week the Major League Baseball announced their Hall of Fame inductees. Helton, Beltran, and Mauer. Were you surprised that any of those guys got in? Or were you more surprised by those who did not get in?
I was surprised all those guys got in. I mean, I think all of those guys are kind of fringe Hall of Famers at best.
Andrew Jones, how is he not in the Hall of Fame? Gary Sheffield, he's caught up in the steroid scandal with Alex Rodriguez, who also did not get in. But how is Andrew Jones not in?
He didn't have that many stellar seasons. I mean, the Hall of Fame criteria for baseball is far more stringent than any other sport. So,
but he was a part of that. He was a part of that. No, he wasn't part of the '90s rotation. Huh? He came in late that year, and then they weren't very good most of his years in Atlanta, right?
No, they were always pretty good. I mean, he was a decent outfielder, and I mean, he had some years where he had some pop, but I mean, just not a lot of them.
Are you excited for Keith Thurman versus Tim Zhu on Thursday night before the Super Bowl? Or excuse me. Teofimo, your guy, Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz Thursday night before the Super Bowl. Are you excited for that?
Oh, I'm always excited when female fights, Yeah,
Keith Thurman, Tim Zhu. That'll be a better fight than Lopez and Ortiz. Rolly and Pitbull, they fight on March 30th. The Orioles selling for $1.75 billion. Surprised by that?
I thought that was a little light, considering that you get Camden Yards and the team. So yeah,
$1.7 billion. What have the Orioles done for? Do they deserve to be sold for $1.7 billion?
They're a major league franchise. There's only 30 of them.
Man, I mean, you thought that was light for the Orioles?
Well, that was kind of light for the Orioles, yeah.
I mean, you make it sound like the Orioles got 3 or 4 championships hanging up in their front office.
They do have 3 or 4 championships hanging in their front office.
When is the last time the Orioles won a championship? They got American League championships?
They won the World Series in '83.
Bootzilla's on it. Bootzilla, who played on that team? Bootzilla. Who played? Name 2 players that played on that team.
Cal Ripken Jr. and Rick Dempsey.
Was he on the team? Man,
yeah.
Come on, dog. Come on. Orioles.
Eddie Murray.
They're Ripken Murray. Okay. That's one. That's one. I don't know if they got many more than that. Palmer, was he on that team? Was that
I think that's a little past his time.
Okay.
He's on the '79 team that didn't win it, that lost to the Pirates.
What's the snapshot Palmer or Playboy Palmer? That's when he was in the tabloids, huh?
That's when doing the jockey underwear commercials and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Fans, again, want to thank you guys for tuning in. Give yourself a round of applause. Let's give Bootzilla a round of applause for sticking in the show.
Sure. Appreciate you, Boots. We're looking out, bro.
Palmer was on that team. Okay, good job. Thanks for now we got a researcher too. Good job, Boots. Good job, Bootzilla. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every day, each and every week. We have our numbers game. We have This Week in History, and then we end it with a quote. The quote I want to end the show with tonight is, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his action." The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Confucius. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans as you do. Appreciate you guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the podcast. We thank you guys for tuning in. As you know, we got 1 week where we do this each and every week. So tell a friend to tell a friend and join us next week. And as always, fans, I want to thank you guys by saying thank you for making our voice your choice. Also, do us a favor. Check us out on voiceofthefans.org. Check out our website, voiceofthefans.org. You'll see some content from Cleveland and myself. some fresh articles. I got a fresh article about Brock Purdy in there that you should like. Pretty thorough article there, and you got some content coming from Cleveland as well. And Cleveland will let you know where you can find his books at. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Once again, thank you for making our voice your choice. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Boots.